Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's turned in. It's the underdog doctor who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good evening and welcome to tonight's home of football. Matchday Live Extra is at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester for Manchester City against Wolverhampton Wanderers here this evening. There is perhaps no tougher test in European football right now than the one that faces Wolves here this evening, up against a side who are 27 matches unbeaten. They have won the last 14 games in a row in the Premier League. We will try and work out how possibly Wolves can be the team to stop them with the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson and the former striker Chris Iwelumo, former captain and defender Sam Ricketts as well. Plenty more guests to join us between now and kick-off as well. We will get into just how big a test this is in just a moment, but a quick reaction, I guess, from what happened at the weekend, boys, that 1-1 draw with Newcastle. Sam, you weren't part of our coverage on Saturday. I'm not sure how much you saw of the game, but it felt like one of them where kind of Wolves didn't get off to a great start, but came into it as we kind of have seen them do so many times, and will feel like Fabio Silva could have won it at the end. Yeah,
I think ultimately he should have won it at the end. Ruben Neves, who went 12 months or so without scoring, is now he's the goal threat. A header which surprised me, even him scoring a header. But ultimately, I think there's another step. Listen, these are tiny steps Wolves are taking at the minute. It's a new team, new players, within the team, and 5 games that is now unbeaten. So you're building tiny steps, tiny little bits of momentum, and that was another step too. It was a game which Newcastle had to win. There was a lot riding on it for them. So it's not an easy place to go to, and then to come back into it and get a point is a step in the right direction. Obviously, you wanted 3, especially against a team which is where they are in the league. And like you said at the start, Fabio Silva he should have come home with all 3.
Is that a key point, Chris Iwelumo, that it felt like maybe that was a game that in December Wolves would have probably lost that game, and the fact that they didn't, the fact that they did come back and get something from it, is a positive.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a positive. I think if you look at the restart last season when we came back, that's a game that Wolves would have probably went on and won. Because again, get punished for the slow start, but have the character and the quality to get back into the match and then go on and manage it and see it out. Now, we've got to think about it. Too many times it's happened this season that we go a goal behind, but the quality and the good positive is that we react from it. We carry on doing what we know and what we believe in, and it gets us back into the match that we can go on then and build on. It was a massive chance, Fabio Silva. I know we're not going into the team, but again, it's one of those things that he's doing everything right. He's coming off the bench. He's reacting. He's keeping himself fit. The only thing is he needs to be putting that in the back of the net. And it's the difference. It's small margins in football. A game that you should have probably been out of sight. I mean, Newcastle should have had the game probably sewn up with the first 30 minutes. We weren't. We got back into the match and we take a point. And it's a good point. Unbeaten in 5, like Sam says. It's about building. But Man City, the form that they're in, you cannot start slow. You cannot make individual errors because you'll be punished. If Man City go a goal up, very, very difficult. In a game that you're already going to see, they're already going to be dominant with the ball.
Well, on that basis, Man City have not trailed, they have not been behind in any of their last 18 games, which is quite remarkable, really. And it's probably just one of many remarkable stats of what's been a remarkable run. Let's have a look at the team that Wolves have picked. And Looms, you can come back in on this, I promise, because we talk about the way Wolves are going to go about it. The fact is they've taken out the main striker. And we talk about Fabio Silva, we can talk about Willian Jose. Nuno's decided he's not going to play either of them from the start.
Yeah, but what does that tell you? It tells you that we are going to basically sit in and play counter-attack football. I think that the priority and the important thing here is if it's either Neto or Traore, they have to share that responsibility. One of them has to stretch the pitch for us. One of them has to make that pitch long so that we can go from back to front or down the sides with a bit of quality, because we've got the pace in that team to go up there and support. That's why I feel that maybe a Willian Jose or a Fabio Silva, because they can stretch the pitch. You know, Willian Jose more so, and keep it. He won't come and get involved. Like Traore and Neto are going to be coming back. They're going to be defending. They'll have a responsibility defensively. But then, as soon as we get that ball with the likes of Neves and Moutinho on the ball, then it's about the likes of Johnny and Semedo supporting and getting up in those wide areas. It's got to be in that transition. We have to use the ball very, very well, and I completely understand it. I think Hoover coming in at the back, you know, you think about that as well. The young lad, he's a good footballer. He's a good technical footballer. He's going to have Conor Coady there instructing, giving, organising all the time. So positioning. But this is going to be a game that the likes of Saiss, Coady, Hoover, Semedo, Johnny Otto as a five have to be on the ball. There cannot be any errors whatsoever.
On that basis, on Keanu Hoover, Tomo, every time we've seen him so far, it's been as a right wing back in the role that Semedo is playing. We know that he can play as a central defender. That's what he's done in the past at Liverpool. Are you a touch surprised that they've gone with Hoover when they could have been tempted to do what they did at Man United, which was Coady to the right, Saiss in the middle and Kilman left?
I think they brought him because of his pace as well. I think that's one of the big reasons with Man City is their quick play, but also as well the pace that they've got in their team. And I think that's why they brought him in. It gives them that little bit more height as well there. So I'm not surprised that he's moved things around and then he's put three in midfield, because Man City are going to have a lot of possession throughout this game. And they've got to make sure that once they do get it, that they try and feed those two up front. There's no good just booting it, because all you're going to do is give back to Man City and it's going to come back. You've got to try and play it to the feet, give them an opportunity to actually run at Man City and get us higher up the pitch, because if we don't, it's going to be a long night and they're going to be defending for a long periods of time. But with that pace up front, they're going to cause a problem.
Echoing that point, I agree. Both of those two can beat a man in a 1v1. So we all know the way Man City play. Man City will play and they'll try and win the ball back straight away. So these two will end up probably picking the ball up around Man City's midfield. So we're going to be that deep. So therefore, can he go past a Rodri or whoever the other midfielders are? I've not seen their team as yet. And then they'll be breaking then at the centre halves. But if you don't have players in there who can beat a man in a 1v1, like a Neto Traore with his pace, then they can attack then the centre halves. You know, it's not going to be as simple as you're going to be straight into the centre halves, but they need to, if they can break that midfield press of the City as they come on and try and win the ball back quickly, they get through that, and then those two have got the pace to go and they won't get caught.
We are presuming, by the way, that it's Hoover on the right of a back three in a back five. It could, Sam, I guess, be Semedo doing that role. I'm not sure what the difference would be, which one you would go for. I mean, he could be surprising us all and going with something completely different and a back four of some kind.
I could, but you would have been there as well. Wolves have actually got a decent record at the Etihad, doing it the Wolves way. Going back to even that year in the Championship, I thought it was in the League Cup. Probably should have won the game, lost it on penalties. And obviously in the Premier League, I've got really good success. So I'm sure the game plan will be very much the same from that, which is defend deep, protect the space in front of the back five, and then just break with pace as much as you can.
One element to it, Looms, we mentioned earlier, Ruben Neves has become the goal threat of the last couple of months. Normally, if they are playing a three-man midfield, he would be the deeper of the two. Obviously, that takes away the element he's now added to his game, which is arriving in the penalty area. So would you be tempted to try and do that differently if they can?
I think it will naturally be a different game for Neves tonight, if I'm being honest. I think he will be the deeper midfielder. You know, I think they're sitting there protecting the back three, back five behind them. I think it's important as well that he's, like what Tomo says, we don't want to just be getting the ball back and then just hoofing it up and giving the possession away again. And I think he's important that he's going to be an outlet. You know, one of the games that blew me away was Chelsea at the Molineux, where I thought he was so important. He got the ball. They had a fantastic high press, and because he was there and he was comfortable getting it in tight areas, we were fluent with it. And he's so important tonight. So for me, if he's going to be the instigator, he's going to be the one getting the hold of the ball and giving the service that he can give. I would take that rather than him breaking his neck to get in the box and get on the end of it. If it's on, definitely, then it's down to like Samatino and Dendoncker to say, you know what, he's gone, we're going to just sit and protect now and allow him to go. That's something that should be very vocal and organised anyway. But I think this will be a very different game. It's not a Newcastle, it's not a Southampton. This is a game where he's going to see very little of the ball, but when we do get it, he is the player that can open up the Man City defence for sure.
And for me as well, I think that we've got to work even harder when we have got the ball. I know there's no doubt about the way how hard we work when we haven't got it, but I think that we've got to up the tempo when we've got the ball. I think we've got
You're going to have to, Tomo, because the way that Man City are going to come and press, you have to. The ball will be doing all the work. The ball will be doing it, but you need brave players. You need players to say, you know what, right? We know that we're going to get pressed. We're going to get pressed very well, because that's something that Man City are defensively sound. It was a weakness over the last couple of years. Guardiola, he's tweaked things. The way that they face up to players, they show them one way. You know, their positioning is outstanding. They're getting better. So when we get the ball back, like Tomo says, we have to play at a tempo, but it has to be like controlled as well in our pace. Can we try and dictate it when we have the ball? But when we don't have it, you know what? Just be compact, hard to break down, and then try and kind of set those little traps. We've got a lot of pace in the team. We've got to use that well.
But it's got to be them first two passes as well for me as well.
Yeah, spot on.
It's got to be that initial first two passes to get you out of that situation where City have actually pressed as well.
Sam, how hard?
Those two passes, you've got to find Neto or Traore. It's as simple as that. They are the Wolves play in third gear. Everything you're right is about the speed without possession. Intensity isn't been great recently. We're steady in possession, but that's the Wolves way, which is fine, apart from when Neto or Traore get it. They're the ones which lift us.
Well, on that tactical element, and we're going to go to our Man City guest in just a second. So just a quick answer, Sam, and then we'll come back to it. The way that City have been playing with João Cancelo stepping into midfield, are you looking at that and go, right, Adama Traore, that's where the space is going to be. We might not have to play it into Adama's feet. We just need to put it in that space and trust that he's got the athleticism to get there.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that you use Neto and Traore to play like down the outsides. And I think the midfield three, the argument of where Neves will be, I think the midfield three will just be flat, cover the width of the pitch to allow the other two to half cheat out a little bit. And they're the ones, Tomo's right, win the ball back. Can you get it to them in one pass? If not, is it a bounce pass between the midfielders? Get it into them more or less as quick as you can. But yet you have to, those two exploit the space down the sides, which the fullbacks leave.
We'll come back to that. We're going to get our first guest on Matchday Live Extra tonight, a man who made his name as a rock at the heart of the Manchester City defence. A big welcome to Wolves TV, a big welcome to Richard Dunne. Thank you very much for joining us, Richard. We are just kind of dissecting a bit of team news, really, and trying to work out ways that Wolves might be able to get at this Manchester City team, which sounds pretty tough because they are on an incredible run, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been fantastic the last few months. They've found their style of play, which nobody seems to be able to keep up with. And most games, they just seem to dominate the ball, create chances and score goals. And defensively, they've been solid. So in terms of Wolves trying to attack them, it's difficult. But West Ham managed it last week, and they have an inverted fullback who will come in tonight. It'll probably be Cancelo. On the weekend, it was Zinchenko, but he came inside, and West Ham played down the right wing, got a cross in, and got a goal out of it. So there is possibilities, but it's hard, and you need to take your chances when they come.
Is this City team better than the last team that won the title, 18 months ago?
I'd probably as a complete team, possibly, yeah. I think in when they won it a couple of years ago, they had some outstanding individuals who could win games on their own. I think now it's more of a team effort. Obviously, technically, when you watch the players, each and every one of them's just on a completely different level to most of them in the Premier League. But there isn't that one player that they rely on. I think they've got a group unit where you can say, well, Cancelo's the danger man tonight, or is it Kevin De Bruyne, or is it Silva or Mahrez? So they can all chip in, and they're getting goals as well from the two centre halves. So they've got everywhere there's trouble coming.
Oh, Rick, you've played in some good partnerships in your time. How good is John Stones and Diaz at the minute? And it's coincided with their run, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly since Diaz has come in, he's been outstanding. He's just taken to it so well, and he's still only 23, and he plays like a lad who's been in the Premier League for 10 years. He's got the organisation, he's got discipline, he's got everything he wants, and he's brought the best out of John Stones. I think he's sort of been that leader on the pitch beside him to talk him through games, and we all know the ability that Stones has. So it was just a case of cutting out those mistakes, and I think alongside a dominant centre half, it has really worked well for him. Laporte has come back in on occasions as well, and they just seem so solid. Whichever two of the three play, they seem like the balance is right each time.
Richard, how much credit do you have to give to Guardiola there? Because the players are individually getting better as well. You know, obviously he's a fantastic coach, but it's very evident just defensively that was something that's been a weakness over the last couple of years, but they are better defensively. But all over, the players are individually getting better.
Yeah, all has to go to him. I think any team that goes and wins 20 games in a row is incredible. And you know yourself, if you win a couple of games, maybe you might slip off a little bit, take 1% off because you're so good and all that stuff. But these just have that determination to keep going, and it only comes from the manager. He's the one who has to keep breathing it into them. And for all the tactical and technical abilities that Guardiola has, the fact that he gets a group to stick together and to perform as a team every week, even when they're the best team in the country or they're playing against a lesser team, every week's the same tempo, the same effort. And it's something which probably isn't spoken enough of in terms of Guardiola. It's all about his tactical nous, but to get a group playing together, he's second to none at.
Interestingly, he came out this week and said 20 games winning is fantastic, but it's not. The end of the season matters what trophies you're lifting. What would be more important, the Champions League or the Premier League, do you think?
Well, it's I think as a club, I think they would want the Champions League. I think if we all look at the Premier League now, it's going to be very difficult for anyone else to take the Premier League away from them. So they can almost put one eye on that Champions League and start to focus on it. John Stones done an interview at the weekend, and he said that he wants to win them all. And the general thing when players talk is, "Oh, we'll take the next game. We'll take the next game." But they have the belief and they have the confidence that they want to go and they want to be honest about it and say we're out to win all the trophies, rather than ducking and diving and saying, "Oh, if we win this, we'll be delighted." But if you're looking for one big sort of statement from the club, what they've been looking for, it's certainly the Champions League.
See, here's one for all of you, and I'll go to Richard first on it, but I'm interested in your views because you've all played the game, right? And I'm here kind of representing the fans' view, Richard. And there will be fans, probably from other clubs, maybe slightly sour grapes wise, that will say it's because Man City have got so much money and they've been able to spend all the money they have, and that's the reason the success. How much of it is the money they've spent, and how much of it is the tactics and the technical style that they're able to produce on the pitch?
It certainly helps having all that money. You need it to get the players. And when you watch the players and you see the individual ability of them, they are above the normal standard in the Premier League. So, of course, that costs money. Then you look around the Premier League and every club has spent a fair bit of money over the while, and it's about recruitment. So they've got the recruitment right. They've obviously had the money to spend. But then to make them gel and to make them become even better players, I think comes down to the manager. And the way they're playing at the moment, the last 20 games or whatever it is that they've won, they found a system and a style of play that other teams don't seem to be able to counteract at the moment. They can't defend against it. So I think the money helps, but it also takes a good leader and honest players to achieve what they have done.
Sam, what do you make of it? Money or players?
Listen, players are everything. Players will make a good manager or a bad manager, depending, how good your players are. But the big thing is, not only are they winning games, it's the way they're winning it and the consistency they've shown. Okay, last year they came off it a little bit, but they've been this good for 3, 4, 5 years now at a high standard. And the way they win games, they don't just win games by having a Cristiano Ronaldo in the team, a Messi in the team who have one focal point. I think Dunne listed off 3 or 4 players earlier who were getting goals for you. But that you didn't include Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan. There's so many players who are coming to the force, and that's why they're doing so well. And that takes a lot. They're not reliant on one player. Aguero hasn't been playing. And yet for the last however many years, everyone's been talking about, they can't do it without Aguero. Well, they've just proved that they can. Ultimately, it's players, but, Pep has them playing in such a way which they play with a style which you need the players for, but, it becomes virtually unstoppable.
On the back of that, Richard, what Sam's saying there, okay, that they're playing, they're doing fantastically well without Aguero, but there's still going to be one eye on who's going to be the next Aguero for Man City, for them to still be punching at that level for the years to come, surely.
Yeah, they need. I don't know whether Jesus has done enough in the games that he's played this year to be that focal point for the team, that main number 9. I do think that they'll probably go into the transfer window in the summer, and whether it be a Haaland or a Harry Kane or Mbappe or someone like that, but who they bring in, I think, will be a top player again. So they're just going to, Aguero's at times he's irreplaceable. He played at the weekend and you could see he'd missed a long period of the game, and it'll be a shame if he does leave at the end of the season. But going forward, I think City will sign that prolific number 9 again and have him as a focal point in the team.
Scary though, isn't it? It's scary the level that they've got to in what? You left the club in 2009? So, little over a decade, and we're sat here kind of talking about Man City in the realms that maybe we used to talk about those great Manchester United teams, in that, sometimes you can be beaten before you've even arrived because you just look at the team sheet.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult for any team going to the Etihad now, and even if City playing away, whatever. You look at the team, and whatever way you set up, whatever you try and do, you're not going to have much of the ball. So you have to sort of try and think and winning the games on small periods of the game and trying to get that lucky break and attack and hoping that they have an off day. But it's just not happening for them at the moment. They're not having a bad day. They're just, from the day I left to now, everything is different. The whole thing is different. And then when I was there, they were a mid-table Premier League team. Now they're possibly the best team in world football. The way they play is a joy. They dominate games, and it's one of those games when you're really happy that you've retired and you can just look and watch them from the sideline.
You don't want to defend against them, do you? You don't want to get squared up by anyone.
It isn't.
Well, I was going to ask you about the art of defending, because Wolves are in a situation where up until today they've been having effectively 3 converted midfielders at the back, and look, I think we all agree, or certainly we all agree on our Wolves TV, Richard, that Conor Coady has turned into one of the top sweepers, certainly in the Premier League. But it's that element, I guess, that you and Sam would probably say the benefit of having out and out central defenders is always going to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is. But there's always that thing where you can have a player who drops in and plays in a new position, and they do well and they get away with it for a couple of weeks, but over a period of time they end up getting found out and maybe switching off certain in defensive areas. When West Ham played City at the weekend, they played the back 3 and they made it very difficult, and they kept sending City wide, and it wasn't as fluent as it normally was. So if Wolves can stay tight and keep City, push them wide and probably invite crosses at times, and you may get a better chance. But for City, there's just so many different options. If they go wide, then that gets closed down. They can come back inside. So it's tough. Whoever the back 3 is today, they're going to be busy, and they're going to have a good day.
Normally, we ask for a prediction, and obviously point to the fact that you're on Wolves TV, so we try and get a bit slightly kind
pressure on you.
But I think given the run that City have been on, I'm perfectly accepting, Richard, if you're going to predict a Man City.
It's very difficult not to predict the Man City win, to be honest. They go to every game, they look dominant, they look stronger than most teams, and eventually they're going to lose a game or they're going to draw a game. Hopefully for you guys tonight, it is tonight, but the way they're playing, I think City 3-1.
Okay, mate. As long as we beat another of your old teams at the weekend, I'll take that result. Thank you very much. Great to see you.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thank you. See you.
Richard Dunne from Manchester City defender and another club that was nearby, but we won't mention them yet. It's an element, boys, where, listen, we can talk all we like about how good this Manchester City team is and all the records that they are setting and breaking all the time. There's an element, isn't there, Looms, where the pressure might be off Wolves tonight. If you can go there. They won't obviously admit that publicly, but they can come and play with it at freedom, can't they? Or can they?
I don't think Nuno portrays that to his players. I don't think he goes out and he says it's a free hit. I don't like that anyway. I think the players will go out there and believe, right, we have to be at our best if we get anything out here. Man City at the minute are the best team in world football. The way that they're playing, the way that they're going, I think that's what we're aspiring to be. Wolves, they want to be up there. They want to be winning these games. They've done it before. They've got a good record at the Etihad. I think go back to what they know, and I think that's a formation that we're going to play. I don't see us going to a 4 or whatever it might be. I think go to a formation that we know. And we've got players. The fact that he's went with Neto and Adama Traore up top shows you that there's a game plan there. But everyone has a responsibility to do their bit for us to get anything out of this match tonight. So I think he'll put that pressure on the players, put those demands on the players, and they'll have it on with each other as well.
How'd you go about it then, Sam?
We've already spoke about it. Basically, you're trying to play with Neto and Traore down the sides and expose the centre-back partnership. Just looking at the Man City team now, I wouldn't be surprised, given the game against West Ham at the weekend, if the back four for City is Kyle Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo. I just wonder whether they'll flip into a little bit of a back three. Kyle Walker one side, Laporte the other side, to try and take care of Neto and Traore, because they're the game winners. Match winners. Out of possession, send them wide, exactly the same as West Ham. With it, quickly into Neto, into Adama Traore, and you just got to break as quick as you can, straight through the middle of them, because you're not going to dominate the ball, certainly not.
And it's one of them as well, free kicks, set pieces, corner kicks, so important tonight. Got to make them count. There's a presence there. I think Dendoncker could be the key. Just go and attack it, get yourself into the box, because he arrives perfectly. I know he's not been doing that job as of late, but hopefully he's back there in midfield. And if possible, when we're in good possession of the ball, the likes of Adama Traore or Neto, if it's in wide areas, or even centrally, if he can be arriving into the box or the edge of the box at the right time, he's got to create. I know you smile at me, Mikey, but there's got to be a belief there, mate.
I'm smiling because you mentioned Leander Dendoncker. There was one of those stats came out the other week, which is one where Leander won't thank me for pointing this one out, but there was a point about 2 weeks ago where he'd had more shots without scoring than any other player in the Premier League this season. He'd had 26 attempts on goal. Tomo, in fairness to him, quite a few of those he's come up against goalkeepers who have produced something really special. Yeah. So it's a harsh stat in some regards, and he's also been playing at the back for the last couple of weeks. So he's got to try and balance what he's going to do.
I would like him to convert a few of them, but what would more him more that he's not getting there or getting opportunities to score. But say, he's got to keep going, keep believing that he's going to score, because that's the main thing for me. So he's making sure that he gets there, keeps making those runs, being that man who's running late into the penalty area. Look, we've seen him many times before. So again, keepers pulling off great saves, or he just missed the target, but he's just got to keep going. He's got to have belief that he's going to score, or once he gets that first one, that he'll get many more. And you can see that he's put him into midfield. And I think that he's going to be the one who's going to be looking to get up there with Traore and with Neto to try and support into the penalty area. But again, we know it's going to be difficult. We know it's going to be hard tonight. But they've got to stay disciplined, which they usually are. Please don't give away the first goal where we're chasing it. But they've just got to believe that they can get something out of the game. They have got players out there who can cause Man City a problem. But what's going to come down to is our supply and delivery on set plays, balls out of the defence to the strikers, giving them an opportunity. If they're whacking them in the air, they're going to have no chance. But they've got to give them some kind of chance to cause a problem.
Well, let's talk about that and how the attackers especially will get going on it, because we have delved into the Wolves Academy, care of Sam Ricketts Contacts, to get ourselves a man who knows a little bit about what it takes to score goals at the Premier League level, former Manchester City man himself, and of course now a coach bringing through the next generations of Wolves players. A big good evening. Welcome to Wolves TV to Darius Vassal. How are you, my friend?
Good, thanks. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all.
See, how are you?
Down, mate. Good, all good.
Right, we're just talking about how the Wolves forwards are going to go about it tonight. Adama Traore and Pedro Neto as a two. Like you in your playing days, plenty of pace in that front two. What have they got to do tonight? And what's the service got to be like to them for them to be a success?
I think it's simple, really. They've got to be patient. And when the time comes, they've got to be clinical. I think that's the way it is in every match, but obviously more so against Manchester City when chances may be limited. Obviously, service with Traore, you want to get him in behind, running at players. And obviously the opposite with Neto, because he can do the turning himself. But I think Wolves have had plenty of success during the season in servicing those players. They just need to be clinical with the end product.
Darius, with the two of those players, it's important that they share that defensive responsibility as well, isn't it? You know, one of them has to stretch the pitch for us this evening, but then the other one's going to be coming back doing that defensive, the ugly stuff. But that's part of it. But like you say, the service is so important. But they have to share that responsibility, don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. They can't obviously stay up there as a pair up front and leave it to the midfield players because they'll be outnumbered. And I'm sure they'll take it in turns and do that job properly. I think Traore, he possibly will be the one left up top if we had the choice. I think at times in the game, depending on where the ball is on the pitch, they have to take that responsibility, whoever it comes to.
We talk about Adama Traore, Darius. I mean, he scored 3 goals against City last season. He was a major part in that 3-2 turnaround in the home game as well, but he's not scored a Premier League goal since then. Should he be looking at this tonight and thinking, I've got good memories of being here. This is my time now to really kick on in a goal scoring sense? Yeah,
exactly that. I've always said as a striker, when you're not scoring goals and it's been a while, you're technically more likely to score in that game that's coming up. It's due any moment, and he has to take confidence from that fact. He's capable of not only scoring goals and creating for others as well. So he needs to not go overboard with that and be greedy. But if he gets an opportunity, he needs to be confident. He needs to be clinical, and he needs to be aware of his teammates as well, just in case they're in better situations.
Yeah, Des, we've changed the formation for this evening's game. Do you think that's the right thing to do, or would you have left the 3 up front?
Yeah, I saw that actually, and I wasn't too sure. I'll probably know more at the end of the game. But
all of that.
It'll be good to have a look at it, though. I think that's obviously something they would have practiced during the week, building up. Hopefully, it comes off for them tonight.
It's one of those, isn't it, Looms, where we talk about Adama Traore being that main man. I guess one of the things is shoot more, because as we saw the other week, he's got that ability against Leeds to fizz it in from distance. Just have a go more.
Yeah, and that's up to the players around him to encourage him to do that as well. It's always good as a player when you've got your teammates telling you to shoot. You take that responsibility straight away. He should have the confidence. He scored a great goal a few weeks ago, as he said. But at the same time, I still think he needs to be aware of his teammates, because he gets himself in some great positions and he's great at servicing other players as well.
Well, just on the back of that, you look at his stats from the Newcastle game. Read them here. 14 successive dribbles. It's so important, the likes of Adama Traore and Pedro Neto tonight, when they get on the ball, can they kind of isolate themselves, get one-on-ones? They are very comfortable. They can run at players, put Man City on their back foot. 19 duels won. That's the game against Newcastle for Adama Traore. 86% passing accuracy. fantastic, and then 4 key passes. So I think it's important that we know where our danger men are, but it's important that they get the service. But when they have the opportunity to get their head down and run and put the likes of Kyle Walker and Cancelo on their back foot, because that's where the holes are going to be. If Man City are completely dominant, then the likes of Kyle Walker are going to be, and Cancelo are going to be bombing on, creating 2v1s in those wide areas. Where's the holes in behind? So with quality likes of Matinho and Neves, without even looking, knowing that Neto and Traore are going to be in those channels, but it has to be quality. You know, both the likes of Neto and Traore, they like receiving the ball to feet. They're comfortable. It's not that game tonight. You know, there's going to be opportunities when there's space. Yeah, come and get it, but then you turn and you go. But it's more so, can we just put little clip ones quality down into the sides for them to run onto? Don't come showing up tonight. Try and make the pitch that way, and then we've got quality. Can we step out? Because I think we're going to be camped in for large majorities of this match tonight. So it's so important that when we get it, like Tomo says, the quality, the service from back to front has to be right on the money.
Yeah, you're right. And they need to be confident in doing that, in getting behind. The quality needs to be there in that service, exactly as you said. And if they can identify a 1v1 situation, they need to not waste any time and get at their defender. Yeah. They'll get success that way, their top players.
Darius, we've just been talking to your old teammate Richard Dunne on Matchday Live Extra tonight, and kind of discussing a little bit about just where City have got to in the just over the decade since you boys left this football club, and kind of how frightening they've become. I wonder how much, when you're doing your coaching in the academy, you're pointing the lads to what City have become now and what their players are capable of, and saying that's the level that you've got to get to.
To be fair, we do that, but more importantly, we point to the Wolves first team as well, because at the same time, they've made great strides in the past few years as well. But you're right, rightfully so. City have come, very far. Myself and Dunne, we started it off back in the day. We got them going. We got them going.
Wouldn't be where they would be without you, D, would they?
No chance.
Still be in League One.
It is amazing, though, isn't it? Just give us an idea, I guess, of the work that you are doing in the academy now, because you've been with Wolves for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, that's right. It's my 4th year now. Really enjoy it. I'm getting to work with the youngsters there, helping them with their journeys. I'm in the youth development phase, so I get to work with the 15s and 16s. And when I do get time, I get to work with the strikers specifically, obviously with my background playing up front. I like to give them some of my experience as well. So it's something that I really enjoy. And I look forward to the day when I see one of them pull on the shirt and, and be thankful for the journey that they've had.
I guess it must be a boost to them, because, you look at the Wolves, the investment that's been made and the promotion of players through, the under-23s are made up by a lot of players who could still be playing under-18s football. For your age groups, that's a real signpost, isn't it, to what they can get to in a short space of time?
Yeah, definitely. The youth development program is something that we look at every season, and credit to Scott Sellers and the work that he's done with all of the coaches and getting them ready to give these youngsters the best possible opportunity that we can. Obviously, Nuno, he looks down and he checks out what we've got available for him, and we're pretty sure that if we've got the goods, he'll give them the opportunity to play in the first team. It's
great stuff, mate, and you're doing a great job. Just before you go, score prediction tonight.
Oh, yeah.
What are you thinking? Remind you now work at Wolves, Darius.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I do believe that we give City a good game all of the time. I think we could be considered a bogey team for them. Possibly not recently, but in the past we've won plenty of games against them. I'll go for a Wolves win. I do believe City will score 2-1, something tight, 2-1 or 3-2.
Okay, 2-1 or 3-2. That'll be entertaining, 3-2. Anyway, Sam Ricketts, what are you going for?
I'm going to go for, probably not quite as bold as everyone. I think if we can come away with a 1-1 draw, it's a great draw tonight.
Okay, Looms?
Well, I was going to say the same as Sam, 1-1 draw I would take, but you know what? I'm going to go 1-0. 1-0 win, just grind it out, and then just an ugly goal from a set piece. I'd take that all day long.
Tomo?
Oh, rarity. I'm going to go for a draw as well. But I'm going to go for 2 each. I'll go for 2 each.
I can't believe you're all being so negative, apart from me and Darius, because I'm going to predict a Wolves victory. I can't do anything different. And thank you all for leaving my traditional 1-0 result free for me.
Haven't I just said 1-0?
Well, you were saying
Looms just said 1-0.
You were
Moves
going
just
on
had
different
1-0.
one.
Michael,
Weren't listening.
he wasn't listening, was he? He faded me down, hadn't he?
To be honest, he could have predicted anything. It would have just
1-0, mate. 1-0.
Rizal, thank you very much indeed. No doubt we will speak to you again. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Mind your eyes. Take care.
More from Sam Ricketts at half time and some other guy as
Yanni's just said 100% 1-0. I said it.
I don't know.
Mikey, I need a new prediction up here.
What you saying, Mikey? What's your prediction, mate? You can't just jump on that.
He's faded out. We can't hear him. More from Tomo in just a second. Don't go anywhere. This is
Mikey, get a prediction off him before kick-off.
Delirious. If we do get a win, we absolutely will be delirious. See you in a minute.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Wolves TV, the home of live uninterrupted radio commentary of every single Wolves game.
Here it is! Oh, you beauty!
But that's not all. Wolves TV also brings you extended and alternative match highlights, interviews with the team, behind-the-scenes features and training coverage, plus see every goal Wolves score from every angle.
The volley over the goal! That is simply stunning!
So check out Wolves TV online at wolves.co.uk or on the move via the Wolves app. Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Five games unbeaten, but Wolves face perhaps the toughest test in European club football right now. Man City are 27 unbeaten in all competitions, winning the last 20 in a row. They haven't even been behind in any of the last 18 games they've played. All that said, since promotion in 2018, honours have been even, with 2 wins each and 1 draw. The Old Gold even did the double over City last campaign. And if they win here at the Etihad again, it would be the first back-to-back top-flight wins in this part of Manchester for 51 years. Nuno has made one change from the side that started at St James's Park in that 1-1 draw at Newcastle. Kiana Hoover comes in for Willian Jose. It means a slightly rejigged lineup with Rui Patricio in goal. Kiana Hoover, Conor Coady and Romain Saiz expected to be a back 3 with Nelson Semedo and Johnny as wing-backs. Leander Dendoncker moves into midfield alongside Ruben Neves and João Moutinho, with Adama Traore and Pedro Neto as a front 2. City, well, they've got such an abundance of riches. They've been able to make a couple of changes from the weekend. Ederson is in goal, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte and João Cancelo, the back 4. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in midfield. Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, and Gabriel Jesus, their attacking trio. On the Wolves bench, John Ruddy, Ryan Aït-Nouri, Willian Jose, Willy Bolly is back amongst the subs, by the way. Fabio Silva, Morgan Gibbs-White, Patinia, Max Kilman, and Owen Otasawi, with Man City having the goalkeeper Zach Steffen, then John Stones, Ilkay Gundogan, Sergio Aguero, Alexander Zinchenko, Ferran Torres, Fernandinho, Phil Foden, and Eric Garcia. That is not a bad substitutes lineup.
I'll say you're just reading them out, right? And I can hear you giggling. I'm laughing as well when you're reading them out. It's not a bad subs bench, is it? 11 what a start ain't bad either.
Pretty much every one of those substitutes could probably get into every other Premier League team. But there you go. And here we are about to go. Wolves in the chain strip, the third shirt this season. It's the one that looks like the Portugal kit. Green socks. And there's Manchester City in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Everybody taking a knee. And we will get underway with Pedro Neto stood over the ball. And we're underway here at the Etihad Stadium tonight. Manchester City against Wolves. It feels like a tough task. But this is a Wolves team who have won here before when City were champions last season. Very different circumstances coming off the back of a superb Europa League win as well on that occasion. They had Raul Jimenez and Patrick Catrone as a front two that day, and Adama Traore and Ruben Vinagre as the wing backs in a attacking sense. And immediately City trying to get in behind, but it's Dendoncker tracking back. And we will see how much he gets back in there, because at the minute he is in and it almost looks like a back six from Wolves.
Well, if it stops them from scoring, they try anything, but just having a look at their formation, so they've gone with four at the back, but you know that the fullbacks are going to push right on. But you got Bernard Silva there, so look, he's just sitting in that little hole just between the midfield and the forwards. De Bruyne, so as well, so he's similar position. So you can see what they're doing there. So they're just trying to get those players on the half turn and going at the back lads of Wolves. So that's where they've got to try and stop them in those central areas. Try and force them out wide and try and make them put the ball in or deliver the ball from wide areas.
Here is Rodri inside the centre circle. It's definitely looks like a 5-4-1 for Wolves. Dendoncker is in the back line. Kiana Hoover is right wing back with Semedo ahead of him. And effectively Neto playing on the left. So a 5-4-1. And it's already into the Wolves penalty area and a big chance for Sterling. And it needed Rui Patricio to come sliding out at his feet to deny him.
Yeah, already. So like you can see, great run from Sterling, wasn't it? And you know that when they do make those runs, the pass is coming. They can pick that pass out. And that's what they've got to be careful of. They've got to track the runners. They can't allow runners just going past. Got to stay with them.
City taking the corner short. It'll be whipped in right-footed from the left-hand side. It's Dendoncker who heads the ball away. Sterling out to the right-hand side to Mahrez. Wolves defending the end away to our right-hand side, which would normally have the away support behind it. Mahrez heading towards the corner flag, held up by Johnny. Bernardo Silva infield to De Bruyne. We'll play it out to the left-hand side. Cancelo to try and whip it in from deep. It's Coady who heads the ball away.
See, you know, them balls up there, that's the one. I know it's difficult for Conor Coady and the rest of the lads, but that's where we've got to try and pick out a midfielder or Traore or Neto. We've got to try and get it to them, because you can see already they're playing about 5 up front at the minute.
Maybe suggest why Wolves have got so many at the back.
Well, he's just watching them. So look, just watching them here now. So look, they look like they've got 5 in that front line. They're just passing it around. Mara's down this right-hand side as well. So it's important that they do track runners and make sure that they do see them if they are coming from deep, because that's where they'll come. They make sure that they are tracking.
It is still 0-0 with 3 minutes played, but Rui Patricio has already been called into the game. As Rodri plays the ball backwards to Ruben Diaz, who tries to shift it out to the left-hand side. It's Cancelo on for De Bruyne. And De Bruyne turning in a low left-footed cross that's cleared away by Leander Dendoncker out of play for a City throw.
He just shifts the ball, doesn't he? You've got no chance. Hoover's quick, but he's got no chance to react to it. He's got the ball's gone. And so is De Bruyne. So looking, again, just looking at their attacking, they've got 4 at the back and everybody else is in the front line. It's Man City.
It's Diaz for Kyle Walker, and perhaps, as Sam Ricketts was suggesting, City effectively with a back 3, and Cancelo pushed really high and Mahrez on the other side, and it's Cancelo on the left on the edge of the Wolves penalty area, blocked off by Keanu Hoover. Semedo infield to Neves, back wide to Hoover, infield towards Semedo, who's lost out on possession from a strong shoulder challenge by Rodri.
Yeah, so he just lent into Dini Rodri, just read it well. And again, so I spoke about it at the beginning of the programme, so about that we've got to try and kick that ball. That first, second pass is going to be important to try and get out, but we haven't been able to do it yet. So look, Man City have been dominant as we knew they would be.
Yeah, I don't want to look at the possession stats
keep your eye off
just
that,
yet.
mate. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's fine.
Wolves trying to stand firm at the moment and see through this difficult early period.
Well, put it this way, our front lads haven't even touched the ball yet and 5 minutes gone.
Cancelo, there was a foot in there by Hoover. Semedo to Neves, back wide to Keanu Hoover. Towards Moutinho, who's lost it on the edge of his own penalty area. It falls to Sterling. Good foot in the end by Dendoncker, and Traore trying to hold up, and he will get a free kick.
Yeah, you see there, they don't half press up the top end of the field, don't they? They make it very difficult for you to get out, but that's what they've got to try and do. They've got to try and break that press from Man City. And again, so like you see the Traore there, he's basically coming halfway into our half and trying to get the ball, and he's just surrounded.
This is Hoover on the right hand side, infield to Neves, now to Dendoncker, to Neves over the halfway line, looking for Semedo, and he'll be carried forwards by Keanu Hoover, though that over cooked his touch, and Laporte was able to play it back to Ederson.
Yeah, you just got that confidence in your own ability tonight, ain't you? That you can get past them. We know that the 2 strikers up there, one-on-one, they've got the beating of anybody. So it's going to be important we try and get the ball to them. At the moment, we haven't really given that any ball at all.
Yeah, 6 minutes have gone here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 0, Wolves 0, as Diaz carries the ball forwards once more, trying to work it out towards the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva flicking it forwards to Gabriel Jesus. It's cleared back over the Manchester City halfway line.
Yeah, you just think you've got the ball and they just swarmed, don't they? Because I thought Moutinho just had the ball there, but all of a sudden, 2 or 3 Man City players around him, win it back, and they're on the attack again.
Cancelo on the left-hand side. Infield to Laporte. Now Ruben Diaz, who was strongly linked to Wolves 18 months ago. Coming in from Benfica for an awful lot of money, but you can see why they spent it, and he's dinked a ball forwards towards Sterling, left-hand side of the penalty area, forced wide by Keanu Hoover. Support from Cancelo, infield to Rodri. Gets it back from Kevin De Bruyne. Now a little short pass to De Bruyne on the edge of the penalty area, blocked off by Dendoncker. De Bruyne's gone down, holding his ankle as Moutinho is trying to hold up play and eventually finds Semedo on the right-hand side, into the feet of Traore on halfway, just to the right of the centre circle. Traore was trying to run across it, but he rather forgot the ball, and Bernardo Silva nipped in.
Yeah, he forgot the ball, but also as well, he had 4 players on him. So De Bruyne's just hobbling back to the defensive line of Wolves. But again, at least they're starting to just get those couple of passes again, but we still haven't got the 2 lads away from up front.
Cancelo crossing from deep. It'll go harmlessly through to the waiting Rui Patricio. Don't forget to use the hashtag Wolves Live if you want to get in touch with us. Wolves not quite getting the ball clear here, and De Bruyne into the penalty area, striking goalwards, but striking wide. It took a deflection on its way through.
See there with Saiz there. I think that he's got to just go along there and try and pick out one of the lads up front. He's putting the ball so much at risk, playing it back in field, just on the edge of our penalty area. You can't do it, especially against Man City, because all of a sudden they've got it, and you got there an example, De Bruyne having the shot away. If you're not sure, okay, we're giving the ball away, but you can't allow Man City to be having the ball around our penalty area.
Well, they've got a corner right now, Manchester City, which will be taken right-footed from the left-hand side. De Bruyne to try and deliver it towards the far post, and it came all the way through. Wolves haven't quite got it clear. Riyad Mahrez being held up by Traore to Bernardo Silva, left-footed cross towards the far post again. Semedo with a touch, Saiss with a header clear. Martinho tried to help it on its way, and Dendoncker to put his foot through it. But everybody was so far deep that City have plenty of time to recover it on the halfway line.
No, we had Traore and Neto back helping us out, didn't they? So as soon as they got something on it, Man City are just picking the ball up again.
Sterling, 30 yards from goal, central position, infield to Rodri. To his right-hand side to Kyle Walker. He will help it further wide right to Bernardo Silva, who's driving towards the corner of the box, now putting it wider to Mahrez. Mahrez cutting infield on his left foot, delivering his cross to the far post. Patricio chose to punch. He was just dropping over the head of Sterling. Picked up by De Bruyne. A little reverse pass into Sterling, left-hand side of the penalty area, up against Dendoncker, trying to wriggle it onto his left foot and pull it back into the danger zone. And Semedo was well positioned to get there and try and clear it downfield towards Pedro Neto. And Neto can't quite keep it in.
Yeah, that's that ball from Mahrez down this right-hand side, doesn't he? Just goes to go down the right-hand side on the outside, just comes back on his left or stronger left foot and puts that cross in. I think that was a goal that Sterling scored more frequently. I think he did. A little header from that similar opportunity there. So they've just got to be careful of the runs because it's a good ball in.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad delivery in at all.
Well, you look at all the deliveries, what they've done so far in this first 10 minutes or so. They've been right on the mark, say, even with the passes, with the runners onto them.
Rodri under pressure from Neves, just the left of the centre circle, short of 10 yards inside the Wolves half, lifting it high across the centre circle for Walker. Out to Bernardo Silva, who will look to come back infield and switch the play again for Laporte. Laporte allowed to carry it deeper into the Wolves half and play it wide left to Cancelo. Infield to De Bruyne. Now Rodri will try and lift it out towards Mahrez. Johnny read it, got his head there, and he's just about managed to keep it in, and he'll draw a free kick as well. Good work by Johnny.
Well done. He did really well to read the initial pass and then to actually bring the foul.
Rich says Lisa is hoping for a 2-1 win to Wolves. Says, I just want to win. Fingers crossed. Rob Knight, happy Tuesday from Calgary. Free hit tonight. Fingers crossed to give the champions-elect a game. Says he's not sure we'd even beat their bench. David Royal says, maybe it's the Tacos Tuesday talking, but I'm going for a Wolves upset, 2-1. Long ball towards Adama Traore, couldn't win it. It's back with Edison.
No, I think if you're going to play a long ball, it's got to be down the side just to give him a chance.
Jared Kelsey's gone for a tough match, but a 1-1 draw. Says he'd love to see a repeat of last year. Traore scoring 2 goals. And Wolves pretty much shock the world if they could get a win here tonight. And Neves, it's going to bounce towards Sterling, left-hand side of the penalty area, blocked off by Coady. I think Patricio has just about kept the ball in play, and you can hear Nuno screaming because Wolves had comfortable possession there, and they ended up giving it away in such a dangerous area.
Yeah, but what I said earlier, you've got to do work really hard when you've got the ball as well. They do really well without you, and we know that they can, but it is so hard, especially against teams like that, to work harder to keep the ball, and they've got to do that. They've got to try and work harder, give options to make it easier. Dendoncker had too much time on the ball there because he's had a touch, he's had another touch, and all it does is invite the Man City players to come towards him, as they did there, put pressure on him, and it ends up, luckily, going into Patricio's hands. But we've got to work harder when we've got the ball. Got to try and give those options.
13 minutes played at the Etihad tonight. One here saying Texas Independence Day, but today have the gold and black flying, not the Lone Star. Come on, ye Wolves. Keep your messages coming. Use the hashtag Wolves Live if you want to get in touch with us, as Cancelo has it on the left-hand side for City again. Being shown in field by Hoover, and he'll cross right-footed, but he'll go all the way through for a Wolves goal kick.
Yeah, that's a better cross, isn't it, what we can deal with? If he kicks it behind the goal. But I said, Conor Coady's just having a word with Saiss there. And again, Nuno's just saying to him as well, they're playing it down the side.
I've just looked at the possession, Tomo. 85% for Manchester City.
Oh, okay.
I think Wolves have had 85% possession in the last 10 seconds.
Is that with the goal kick?
Yeah, that's Rui Patricio to Coady. He lifts it towards the right side to Hoover, falls towards Semedo. Couldn't quite hang on to the ball. Neto is challenging with Laporte. Laporte all the way back to Edison outside of his penalty area.
Well, there's only 14 minutes gone and Neto's getting a little bit frustrated. Well, he's going to have a lot of that tonight, I think. Again, he says it's going to be a long evening.
Cancelo, bit of space on the left-hand side for City. Midway inside the Wolves half. Infield to De Bruyne. Now Rodri takes over. Trying to lift it in behind for the run of Mahrez. And the flag has stayed down. And Mahrez firing it across goal and turned in. And Riyad Mahrez getting the credit. It may well go down as an own goal. Sterling was closing in too. Wolves' resistance lasted just about a quarter of an hour.
Goal for City and City lead by
Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. And rather predictably, the way this season has gone, Wolves have conceded the first goal. That's nothing new. And it's made this task even tougher here tonight.
Yeah, it has. Again, we've got cut ball watching a bit. What they do, the wingers, they're very clever. They just delay the run. And as the ball's just about to play, that's when they make that run. And that's what Mahrez did there to Johnny. He timed his run, got behind, and just with his right foot, just played it across the penalty area. And Sterling running in. Again, I'm not quite sure who it come off. But that's what you got to do. You got to be switched on all the time. You can't allow the runners to go. And that's what Man City do very, very well.
Yeah, very difficult to tell from the angle where we are. We're in a makeshift temporary part of the press box, which is quite low down, and we don't have the benefit of screens either. So you'll have to bear our apologies for not knowing exactly who scored it, as Hoover tries to set Semedo in behind, but Laporte is quick.
Yeah, but that's where he's got good possession there. He can't afford to just pass it like that and give it straight back to Man City. You're not going to get many chances, and that was a good opportunity for there. Just play it to his feet. There's no need to put it into the space to him.
May well have gone in off Leander Dendoncker.
Yeah, the players running in, wasn't there?
Sterling was just behind him. Oh. And here comes City again to Cancelo on the left-hand side, up against Kiana Hoover, trying to cut back in field. He's got support from Rodri. 30 yards from goal, back to Cancelo again, trying to lift it into the danger zone. Eventually, Dendoncker getting it clear, and Traore trying to nod it on towards Neto. Yeah, it is off Dendoncker.
Is it gone Dendoncker, is it?
Got it on my iPad.
Yeah.
Gets there ahead of Sterling.
But you know, when we talk about putting that ball across the box with pace on it, that's what happens. It's very difficult as a defender because you're running in at pace as well to actually get out the way of it and the direction of it. Unfortunately, went in. But we've had a couple of chances where we've had an opportunity to get possession of the ball and just give it straight back. And we've got to do better with the ball. If we're going to get anything out of this game or give Man City a little bit more of a challenge, we've got to keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, 17 minutes played, and Wolves have seen very little of it. As it's with Diaz over the halfway line. So the right-hand side to Walker, onto Bernardo Silva. It's one-way traffic as he then runs on to the pass from Riyad Mahrez, trying to whip in a right-footed cross. Coady clearing as far as Moutinho on the edge of the box, wide to the feet of Neto. Loose one by Neto in towards Sterling. All bounces off De Bruyne, and Coady able to clear to the right-hand side to Hoover this time. Semedo with a flick, and it needed to be just held up there rather than just trying to flick it on. City just coming again. It's not really that Wolves are able to get out from their defensive line. They're just shuffling across, right to left, left to right.
Yeah, but the pass has got to be better. They've got to take care of it. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. Man City have done well when they haven't got possession of the ball. But you've got to have that confidence and have that belief that you can do something with it. And at the minute, we're just getting it straight back. There you go.
Well, now possible opportunity to break. Pedro Neto turning and looking out to the right-hand side to Hoover. He's got Neto ahead of him. Here is Pedro Neto. Now to Ruben Neves, and a rare spell of play for Wolves inside the City half. Saiss on halfway. Back to Coady at the base of the centre circle. Looking to try and lift it forwards towards Semedo. Holds off his man this time. Out to the right-hand side for Neto. Further wide for Hoover. Back in field. Adama Traore on the turn. We'll leave it though for Kiana Hoover. Wolves trying to keep a bit of possession. It goes backwards to Dendoncker and now to Coady, who's trying to whip it towards Johnny, but he didn't get enough on it. Mahrez intercepted. Bernardo Silva back to Riyad Mahrez. A couple of yards from the corner of the penalty area. Left-footed cross into the danger zone, headed away by Coady. Picked up by Rodri. Now De Bruyne to his right-hand side to Mahrez. Mahrez up towards the edge of the box, being forced backwards by Johnny. Switches the play to Cancelo. Wide to the left-hand side to Sterling. Sterling into the penalty area, up against Kiana Hoover. Pulling it back to De Bruyne. One touch, clipping his cross to the far post, and Johnny got his head to it. Kyle Walker trying to arrive, but under pressure from Neto, ends up putting it out of play for a Wolves goal kick.
Well, you've just seen Wolves have a little bit of possession there in the Man City half. And that's where somebody's got to be brave. One of the strikers has got to be brave. We kept it out on the wide area, ended up passing it back towards the halfway line. Somebody just needs to be brave. Take a gamble, have a go with the ball. If you're going to have a go at dribbling or getting past a player, that's the area to be doing it.
Well, 20 minutes played so far. Rui Patricio trying to lift it wide towards Johnny, and under pressure from Kyle Walker, skims over the top of his head and out of play for a City throw. Wolves trying to take these goal kicks short in their own 6-yard box, and you wonder whether that's a wise move because City are just closing in on them.
We've got nobody really up front to hit, have we? If anything, maybe Traore goes out wide. He's decent in the air. Try and hit him, Patricio. Onto one of the fullbacks.
That's with Ruben Diaz to his left-hand side to Laporte. 15 yards inside the Wolves' half. Further out to the left-hand touchline to Cancelo. Back to Aymeric Laporte. Infield to Rodri. Finds Bernardo Silva in a central position. On to Raheem Sterling. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Sterling will just keep the ball in by the byline. Ball is worked backwards towards De Bruyne. There's a 1-2 with Rodri. Just almost a walking pace, City. Neves, though, stepping in and deciding to win it back and trying to find Traore, who beat one, but he couldn't beat the second challenge. And Traore was caught there by Aymeric Laporte, and he stayed down, and City will kick the ball out of play, and Nuno's fuming down in front of us.
I know he's got caught with the second one. I thought he should have done better with the first one, though. So I know I haven't got the replay, but I thought he could have done better with that first ball. It looks like he hesitated a fraction there, Traore.
He looks to be okay without the need for any treatment. Hopefully he is all right. Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. Talk about it being an own goal by Leander Dendoncker. First one Wolves have conceded since Nelson Semedo in the 4-0 defeat at Liverpool at the start of December. Generally been known for it. Not a lot he could do, Leander Dendoncker. No. If he didn't turn it in, Sterling would have done.
Yeah, and that's what I talk about, that putting that ball in there into the right area. Keeper couldn't come for it.
Substitutes for Wolves sat near us here, actually. I was just watching Willy Bolly screaming from the stand away to our left-hand side, trying to help his team and organise. City are carrying the ball forwards. They're still short of halfway. Rodri, just left-hand side of the centre circle. We'll play it low across to Ruben Diaz. And then Wolves are standing off at the moment, happy to let City have it in this area, and it's not too easy for them so far to work it into more dangerous ones. 23 minutes have been played at the Etihad Stadium. De Bruyne forwards, flag has stayed down against Gabriel Jesus. I think it would have gone up had he reached it, but Patricio was out sharply.
Yeah, I thought, he was just offside, but again, it's that first time pass. As soon as it's rolled to any of the players, just putting it in there. De Bruyne has done a few of those already. And then the players are on the move. They're just playing on the shoulder. Jesus has just gone onto the shoulder there. Mahrez. Somebody's got a challenge for it.
It's going to be Dendoncker to nod it down for Hoover. Stepping in field, ball forwards took a deflection. Semedo will give chase, and it will be a Wolves throw. A little bit deeper inside the Manchester City half, but Wolves haven't really had anything in terms of a attacking offensive sense so far.
Just got to be brave with it now. Just try and keep it. They keep passing it back. It's going to end up going back to the keeper. That's a throw-in on the edge of their box.
It's level with Patricio. Cleared it forward, so Tomo was right. It went all the way back. Coady challenging with Gabriel Jesus. It was won by Rodri, though. De Bruyne out to the left-hand side to Sterling. 30 yards from goal, driving forwards on at Kiana Hoover. Sterling, support just behind him from Cancelo. Gets it back from Rodri. Semedo in a more midfield role. What have you made of that so far?
Well, I think the midfield and the forwards have struggled to get into the game at all. So he's had a couple of opportunities to keep possession of the ball. He's given it away a little bit cheaply for me. But it's not just him. So look, I think that the whole midfield and forward line have struggled to get hold of the ball at all. The defenders are looking for that pass. As I said, they've got to try and give them more options. They've got to try and work harder when we've got the ball. Because at the minute, we're just not able to get out at all. We're just allowing Man City to dictate the play, the possession, and also as well, the chances what they're having. Look again, so they never give it away. Just one touch football, just play it around them.
Ruben Diaz back to Edison on the edge of his penalty area when he was closed down by Pedro Neto. And then just goes short to Laporte. Midway inside his own half. We'll pass infield to Cancelo. He will lift it high towards Walker. He knew Neto was closing in and just cushioned it down to Ruben Diaz, who carries it up towards halfway into the centre circle to Rodri. Out to the left-hand side to De Bruyne. City just happy to interchange positions, and
they just bide the time, just wait for the right moment. They just wait for that right run just to go, and then that ball's gone through. So they'll just be patient. They're in no rush. They're just trying to create that space for each of the players. Just waiting.
Walker all the way back to Edison again. In terms of possession, Wolves are up to 20%.
Oof, come on. We can do it.
Here is Ruben Diaz. 26.5 minutes played. Gabriel Jesus, edge of the centre circle. Turning and playing it wide left for De Bruyne. De Bruyne on for the run of Cancelo in behind. Just turning and finding De Bruyne again. Trying to slide it in towards the run of Sterling, and he'll go behind for a goal kick. But such a threat.
It is. I'll tell you what, it's a very clever run from Sterling as well. Because what he does, he's in that central position. Either Conor Coady or Saiss has got it. And what he does, he makes that little diagonal run just behind the other centre half, who's Dendoncker then, and he can't see him. And he's gone. And it's difficult for us to track as well.
We will hear from Sam Ricketts and Chris Iwelumo at half-time. Wolves do have the kind of players out there where they could tweak this if Nuno wanted to. You could put Hoover in to the back three, Dendoncker into midfield, and try something a little bit different that way, because at the minute, Tomo, dare I say it, this 5-4-1's not really having much of an impact.
No. But I was just watching Traore there to say again, when the ball's come to him, I don't know if I know he's gone down earlier. I don't know if he's struggling with something. Because the ball come to him and he looked like he was labouring a little bit.
He's just had to do a lot of work already.
Yeah.
Tracking and running backwards. And Cancelo is making Wolves do it again, although his pass has gone straight to Traore this time. He's turning. As soon as he tries to set off, he had 3 blue shirts all the way around him. Neto going back to Saiss, lifting it forwards. Johnny with the flick on. Traore trying to get hold of it. Couple of awkward bounces, but he still has the ball out on the left-hand touchline and feeds it infield to Moutinho, who looks up and will try and switch the play out to Kiana Hoover. We've got a little bit more time and space on the right-hand side, and then put his foot through it and launched it behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of excitement and youth there, all in one. Ball's come to him. He's seen the glory of a good cross in. Unfortunately, just put it beyond the goal.
Nuno had a wistful look on his face as he turned and walked back towards the bench then. They finally got into a good area.
Yeah.
29 minutes played. Ederson with the ball at his feet, left-hand side of his own penalty area. A short pass from Laporte to Rodri. But De Bruyne lifts it on. Gabriel Jesus had plenty of time.
He shouldn't be bringing that down on his chest there. We've got 3 at the back and he's...
Rodri with a big long diagonal, trying to get Riyad Mahrez in behind Johnny. And Riyad Mahrez has just about kept it in. But Saiss will put his foot through it and launch it towards halfway, where if the spin works, and it did, it was held up by Traore, who finds Neves towards the feet. Oh, Semedo miscontrols, and that allowed Raheem Sterling to nip back in.
I don't think it was the best ball from Neves, though, was it? So like, it was a little bit to his left, and he was stretching for it.
Ruben Diaz for Aymeric Laporte, just the left of the centre circle. Back across it for Ruben Diaz. Now Kyle Walker on halfway. Thought about a big crossfield pass. Instead, will go short to Rodri. He gets away from both Moutinho, Neves, and then Traore. Riyad Mahrez carrying it at pace. Infield to Gabriel Jesus. Now for Kevin De Bruyne. Switch back out to Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. On to Mahrez. Mahrez fizzing across in. And it's Semedo who can turn and clear up to Pedro Neto. And Neto, again, was going to try and set off at speed, but City with players swarming around him, forcing him backwards to Saiss.
Better keeping it. That's better. But,
no, miscontrol by Keanu Hoover on the right-hand touchline. City throw again. And it is that element where, you know, you get it up to Neto and Traore. You're asking them to produce something incredible. And City, with players all the way around them, speedy players as well, they're just not going to be able to get away from them.
No. It's just the way that they just mass around everything, isn't it? I think just one of them. And like you say, they've got the ability and they're quick.
Long ball forwards that Gabriel Jesus has chased. He's drawn Coady wide out to the Man City right. Support for Mahrez, infield to Rodri. Traore trying to challenge, but can't get it off him. Laporte. Out to Cancelo on the left, midway inside the Wolves half. Back infield to Laporte. 1-2 with Rodri.
Well, they've got 2 players spare out this side, Silva and Mahrez. If they pick that pass out, Johnny's on his own.
Ruben Diaz now finding Bernardo Silva, who's one of the 2. Pass blocked off by Saiss. Johnny finding Neto. Neto just played it straight at Kyle Walker's. Pass only found Neves. Now Adama Traore. Fouled by Bernardo Silva.
You're seeing little glimpses of them coming back into it a little bit, aren't they? They're starting to get a few passes. Let's say I know Man City have worked hard in this first half an hour, but and I'm sure they can keep it up, but Wolves have started to get a couple of little passes. Haven't really hurt Man City with it, but it's at least it's a little bit better than what it was.
Well, Wolves have had 66 passes so far. A couple more now as Traore finds Johnny. Infield to Neves. Then Donker for Coady. Just to give you the balance of that. Wolves are now up to 86 passes. Man City are on 350.
Better.
Here's Johnny carrying it over the halfway line. Semedo had made a run through the middle. It goes wide left to Traore. Traore trying to go on the outside of Kyle Walker. Now can he try and get a ball into the penalty area or play it backwards to Saiss? He switches it across the centre circle for Dendoncker. Back again to Romain Saiss on the halfway line. Backwards to Conor Coady. They've got themselves into a deep area.
Yeah, well done, Dendoncker.
Dendoncker.
Well done.
Switching the play. Had to run away from a couple of Man City players to do so. Pedro Neto on the right. It's that element, isn't it, Tomo, where Traore got into a good area, looked up, and it was only Semedo in the box.
Yeah.
Here comes Neto, though, trying to drive on the right-hand side and tackled by João Cancelo. If it beats him, Wolves are looking threatening. As it is, it's De Bruyne carrying it forwards. Sterling backwards to Laporte and now Ruben Diaz.
Yeah. Again, they just put the halt on it. But yeah, and that's where the margins come into it, isn't it? With Neto just not having that look. First real run that he's had, one-on-one. Cancelo just won the ball.
Mahrez getting around the outside of Johnny. Now checking back onto his left foot. Into the penalty area for Bernardo Silva, right-hand side of it. Back again to Mahrez, trying to shape up on his left foot. Can't quite get some room, so goes to De Bruyne with the outside of his right boot, flicks it into the box, and Rui Patricio can palm it down and try and eat up a little bit more time. 34 minutes played, Man City 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, I think Wolves player just got a little touch on that De Bruyne pass, which just knocked it into Patricio's hands. As you can see, he was just looking for the run from Mahrez, I think it was.
Patricio kicking downfield. Ruben Diaz beats Traore in the air. Rodri playing it back to Ederson.
That's why I'm saying it's got to go down the sides for me. Get Traore out wide a little bit with him if you're going to kick it. Because anything down that central position, the two centre-halves of Man City are going to win it.
And here come City again down the left-hand side through Sterling. Infield to Rodri. Back to halfway to Laporte. The mind goes back to Arsenal away in the first season after promotion, where late in the game, Wolves just kicked it long and relied on Traore's speed to beat the defensive line to it. Kind of feels like that now, doesn't it? Where if you're going to do it, you may as well go over the top of the defence.
Well, there you go.
It's a loose pass by City, a rare one, and Pedro Neto trying to capitalise. Trying to force his way through, but he ends up running into Kyle Walker, who comes away with the ball.
He's getting frustrated, but he's going into the wrong areas. For me, he should have just gone inside there. He's paused. He's just got looking to go on outside. Sterling was helping out his defence. And he's getting frustrated, Neto. But again, he must have realised that this is going to be the kind of night he was going to have against Man City. Just got to try and do your best you can when the ball comes to you. Just got to keep up, keep your head up, keep working.
There comes Cancelo again on the left-hand side for Manchester City. Infield to Kevin De Bruyne. Middle of the Wolves half is Rodri. Closed down by Moutinho. De Bruyne back for Laporte. And then looking around for a pass. Plays a 1-2 with Rodri again. Now back into the centre circle to Ruben Diaz, who will look to try and carry it left. Finding Laporte. And closed down by Semedo. Rodri, who's made some impressive passes already so far tonight. It's lifted out to the left-hand side to De Bruyne. And De Bruyne looking to drive at the Wolves' defence at speed onto Cancelo. Cancelo's cross turned behind by Dendoncker, and now the offside flag will go up.
But they've always got to get out ball up in the Man City. You're looking at it when Wolves do press a little bit. They've got to get out ball. And that's the difference between the two. We've got to try and find that ball to get us out. But a good line held there just for the offside.
Wolves are up to 22% possession, Tomo. How about that?
We're getting there.
114 passes to 401.
Well, in Wolves' favour.
Yeah, 92 of which have been accurate.
They have come into it a little bit more. I know they haven't threatened the goal at all, but they've started to have a little bit more possession on it. But it's just for me, just somebody have the confidence just to keep it, have a run at them, do something with the ball.
One kick forwards, Traore challenging, Neto heading on to Semedo. He plays it backwards to Hoover and into his own half for Dendoncker. Now Conor Coady midway inside the half.
Now this is where they need a ball to get out.
Saiz trying to play it wide left to Johnny. Johnny on towards Traore, just over halfway. Traore trying to turn back in field. Support from Neves. It's closed down by Gabriel Jesus before he could turn and look to his right.
Yeah, I thought he could have gone that. He's just hit the ball out to Hoover. I thought he could have gone there earlier if he had a look.
Hoover in field. It's deflected and it was behind Moutinho. Bernardo Silva under pressure from Johnny goes all the way back to Ederson.
He's frustrated as well, Nuno, isn't he? He's holding his hands out most of this first half. It is just a simple, but there's no real pressure on the ball, and we're still giving it back to Man City. And I think that's the thing that's frustrating Nuno.
Here come City again through Cancelo, cutting in on the left-hand side.
Better.
Traore winning it. And now Moutinho trying to set off. Neto to his right.
He's a
Traore
runner.
through the middle. He goes backwards to Neves. Ball deflected to Moutinho, and he slices the ball straight to Kyle Walker.
Just watching the front two there, Neto and Traore. They're both running away, but they're running towards Man City players. Just one of them put the brakes on and get the ball off him. Just stop. Just go to run and then disguise it and come back and get it.
It's Cancelo back. Neto trying to press, so he's pressing on his own at the moment.
Yeah, well, there's no team better than Man City from just passing it around, yeah.
And here comes Ruben Diaz carrying it forwards again, up towards halfway. Out to the left-hand touchline for Kevin De Bruyne. Trying to play it infield to Cancelo. Then Donko read it.
Better.
Now Semedo up towards halfway. Into the centre circle to Traore. He could have turned, but went backwards to Neves. Now Saiss. We've got about 5 minutes plus time added on to go until half-time. Saiss into the feet of Neto, who dropped deep. Still inside his own half. Oh, loose pass by Neto, straight to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus up towards the edge of the penalty area. Teeing it back for Mahrez. Now to Sterling. Left-hand side of the box on his right foot. Deflects off Dendoncker. Gabriel Jesus down to Mahrez. And Neves got across and got the block in. And it's a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, again, so it's I'm doing, isn't it? So they're giving the ball away cheaply. And they've done that 2 or 3 times where they've played it inside. And I said earlier, you can't afford to be playing little square balls around a bit. Well, I know it was a little bit further out from your penalty area, but they're straight at you, Man City. Got to take care. Got to make sure you do it right.
It's a slight delay as Riyad Mahrez has to go and collect the ball himself. No ball boys in COVID secure times. Mahrez left-footed from the right-hand side. It'll be whipped in towards the danger zone, and it went looped up in the air off Laporte, and it dropped into the arms of the waiting Rui Patricio. Well, it's been a tough experience, as we knew it would be.
Well, look, it's a learning curve as well, isn't it, for the younger players and the players who are the first time they played Man City. But it just shows you the level that this is at and what they need to get to.
Better football from Wolves this, as Traore has it. Central position in the Man City half. Trying to wriggle away from a couple of challenges and thought about shooting. Instead lays it out to the right-hand side for Hoover, whose cross is blocked by Cancelo.
That's better. That's better.
All stayed in play, you know. Hoover has it again. Support from Jean Moutinho. Infield to Neves, midway inside the City half. Back out. Oh, and Hoover couldn't keep it in on the right-hand touchline this time.
He's offside.
Well, they're in such a good position again.
Yeah. And again, I'd rather see them go take a little bit of a gamble. If it's in that top third, have a go, be positive in that top third. So they've had a couple of chances. They're going to be limited with Man City, but just go in there and have a go at them. Drive into the penalty area.
Cancelo for Laporte. Last 3 minutes of the first 45. Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. Walker. Rodri. Now for Bernardo Silva on halfway. We'll go back to Kyle Walker again as Johnny and Pedro Neto closed in. Rodri for De Bruyne. Oh, excellent bit of work to find Bernardo Silva as Wolves tried to press and City just got their triangles right. And Mahrez switching the play. Cancelo bringing it down. 10 yards from the left-hand corner flag. Cutting in field. Now for De Bruyne. De Bruyne to shoot under pressure from Semedo. It must have had a faint deflection off Nelson Semedo. It's a City corner.
Well, great defending because he was just eyeing up the goal, wasn't he, De Bruyne? And again, Semedo just slid in off and had a big deflection. We took it over for a corner. But if somebody's on the edge of the box with the ball free, he's the one player that you don't want to let have with the ball.
2 minutes to go, plus a bit of time to be added on. Mahrez again, left-footed from the right-hand side. It's drawn Pedro Neto out. It'll be drilled back towards the edge of the box. Moutinho's header. Neto leaving it for Neves. Semedo had to halt his run and he lost possession. Gabriel Jesus, right-hand side of the box, leaving it for Mahrez. Mahrez up against Neves on his left foot. Little cross flick to the far post and turned in. It was a little flick on, faintest of flicks.
I think
Wolves will be hoping that it was off a Man City head and not a Wolves one.
I think it came off a Wolves head. I hope I'm wrong.
So we don't have any screens here, unfortunately. It has come up on the big screen. Officially checking disallowed goal. All eyes will be on Chris Kavanagh. See what signal he will make. Check, of course, will be made. I presume they are doing lines, checking who got the final touch.
Well, he looked offside when it was played in, but it's that coming off a Wolves player is the thing that I'm not sure who it come off. Disallowed. He has to give offside.
Oh, he hasn't yet.
Oh, I thought I was checking. Is that what he said?
Still saying checking, yeah. And we're still keeping an eye on Chris Kavanagh. It has to be off a Man City player. I'm not sure what they're still checking, unless they're not sure he definitely was offside at the far post. Or no, it's been disallowed. So the decision is no goal. It is still 1-0.
Well, that's a big let off. That's a big let off.
And Tomo's not seen what I've seen, and I'm not sure that is offside.
Yeah.
They have taken that from the shirt sleeve, which is so minimally offside. I mean, it's benefited Wolves, but
they're lucky. They're lucky.
Very, very fortunate is what I would say. Still Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. And if they can get through to half-time now at just 1-0, try and use that time during the break to regroup, maybe tweak the formation, or Dendonka's lost it to Gabriel Jesus. City still hunting a second before half-time. Block on the shot. He'll come to Bernardo Silva. What a save by Patricio. Yeah. And Bernardo Silva misses the follow-up. Well, that's stunning from Rui Patricio. It is the final action of the first half. Wolves nearly gifted City a second right before half-time. The shot from Gabriel Jesus deflected up into the air. Bernardo Silva headed it. He was heading towards the bottom corner, and Patricio flung himself low to his left-hand side and managed to keep it out. Stunning bit of goalkeeping. At the break, it's Manchester City 1, Wolves 0, all thanks to a Leander Dendonka own goal after a quarter of an hour. Riyad Mahrez's work down the right-hand side, the low cross in. And if Dendonka hadn't turned it home, Raheem Sterling would. Wolves haven't had a single effort to tell you about. They've got into some decent areas, but Edison has barely touched the ball. And Nuno will have a lot of thinking to do at half-time here.
I think he does. I think that he's got to say something to him. Again, Salafana, if Neto and Traore thought it was going to be an easy night and they thought that we were going to have lots of the ball, sound like they're kidding themselves, because at the end of the day, they knew that they was going to get frustrated. They knew that they weren't going to have loads of the ball. But when it did come to them, they was expected to do something with it and help the team. At the minute, we haven't caused any problems at all with Man City. We've allowed them just to dominate the ball and to have a lot of possession. But as I said before, as I said before the game started, we've got to work harder when we've got the ball. And at the minute, we've made it easy for Man City to have possession by us giving away the ball cheaply, not being as sharp as what we could be. We've had a little bit of possession there towards the end of that first half, but nothing that's going to cause a problem to them.
More from Andy Thompson to come. We will also hear from Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts in a couple of minutes here on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molyneux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Half-time here at an increasingly cold Etihad Stadium, and Wolves' performance so far is not doing anything to warm us up. Chris Iwelumo, what have you made of what you've seen in the first 45?
Look, it's been hard. We have to say that the quality of Man City has been excellent. I have to say again what Tomo said. We have to be better when we do get the ball. You know, there's been moments where, okay, there was the possession, we had a little bit more of it, but still it fell apart. It broke down in that attacking third. If it's just a simple cross coming in, at least it's a cross coming in. There was bodies in the box to go and attack it, and it was Hoover. You know, it's one of them, up and down. Defensively, he does his job. You can see the frustration on Adama Traore, more so probably Neto, that they're not seeing a lot of the ball. But this is part of the game. You know, coming into it, that you're not gonna be getting chance after chance to dribble and touch. So when it comes, it has to stick. You know, Neto, when he gave the ball away in his own half, and they actually had, I think it was Neves that had the block, he never even reacted when he gave it away. Now, that's disappointing. This is something that Nuno has to drill into the players, but the quality has to be better. You know, it's all Man City, yeah, they're playing, we're defensively sound, we're stopping them from playing, and all of a sudden, when we get it, too many touches on it, when we have to see an action and play it to cause them any harm or put them on their back foot. And at the minute, Traore's had it. I see the pass. He takes 2-3 extra touches before he gives it into Neves or Moutinho or whoever's going to be in there. And we have to use that one quicker than we are. You know, we're still in the match. That's the positive side of it. It's 1-0. It should have been 2-0. I don't. You seen it with the shot. It was probably a millimetre in it, but here we are still in this match. We haven't had a shot on target. We haven't got into their 18-yard box. But if we can just have one moment of quality, we're still in it. It's only 1 goal.
Sam, we talked a little bit beforehand, and I did kind of say that, you know, Nuno has the potential to surprise us a little bit. We thought it was going to be Hoover in the back three and Dendoncker in midfield. It's obviously not been like that. I asked Tomo in that first half, kind of Semedo in midfield, the 5-4-1, Neto wide. What have you made of it? Because it doesn't feel like it's had much of an impact.
No, I was a bit disappointed really watching the game. I think it would have been better how we had put it together, or how we put that graphic together for the game. I just think with Dendoncker in midfield, it'll give. He's a better midfielder than Semedo. I like Semedo, but he's a good wing back. And I just think he'd give us a bit more presence in the midfield. He'd have a little bit more running. Semedo's a fit lad, but Dendoncker's a midfielder who can get forward and help up. But I just think we need to release Neto and Traore a little bit more, play them maybe even a fraction wider, and give that, so when we have possession, we can get a first pass into them easier than what we are doing. They're getting so surrounded, and Man City nearly are playing with a back three at times, where Cancelo pushes on, and then you have Walker, Diaz, and Laporte playing as a three. And try and isolate those outside ones a little bit more. I'm caught between moaning a little bit about Wolves, saying, come on, hey, we're better than this, which we are. I think we are a bit better than that. But at the same time saying, Man City have just that good at controlling the game and making it. Neto gets the ball, he has 2, 3, 4 men around him within a couple of seconds. And that goes on to Looms' point where him and Neto and Traore, they've got to do it quicker. And to be fair, Darius said it before the game. If you're going to get it and go. Don't think, don't have too many touches because you'll get caught. These balls will get back at you straight away. You just got to go as soon as you can. If you're going to dribble and take someone on, dribble and take someone on. If you're going to play and pass. But just be that little bit quicker because then you move the ball quicker and then you might get a little bit of a breather. But you've got to get through the first 5-10 seconds of that press first.
I think when you get through that press, that then they have to respect you. If you're consistently playing and you've got the quality to play through a press, no matter how good it is, they have to then sit back and let you play. And there has been some fantastic little phases, albeit probably 6-7 passes where we've used the ball very, very well. We've got up the pitch. Man City have then got all behind and says, all right, we've regrouped. Let's break it down. And then all of a sudden, it's a simple pass that goes out wide and we're offside, or we allow it to go out to play, or the cross doesn't come in. And that's where we have to make sure that the quality's there. You know, we've got into the attacking third, but no real qualities come into the box. It's broken down. So I think you will tweak a few little bits for the second half. But again, you have to give credit to Man City at how good they are, because they are so dominant with it. They've got so many options, players dragging players out of position. There's always space in behind, and they've got the quality and the players in the team to actually pass and execute those passes as well.
Do you think we can be a bit braver? Tomo, do you think we can be a bit braver? I'm looking at West Ham at the weekend, caused Man City a lot of problems. I don't watch Man City every week. They've had 75% possession, which may or may not be rare for them. But I don't know if we've been a little bit too respectful of them and saying, actually, go on then, we'll not go toe-to-toe with them, but let's commit a little bit more.
I've said that in that first half, that we need to be braver, especially in that top third as well. Somebody have a go. Somebody have a gambles. Take a chance. So look, because we've done it 2 or 3 times where we've had it around their box. We've ended up coming back to the halfway line. One of them went back to Patricio from out throwing by the edge of their 18-yard box. Just somebody be brave enough just to have a go. Look, we know it's difficult. Man City are a great side. It's going to be difficult just to get anything out of it. But unless you try, unless you have a go at them, you're never going to know. So just have a go. Just have a little bit of, be brave. No?
But we always, the way Wolves play is very protective, and we just seem to have. Well, I just feel we got one man too far back, basically. And I'll go back to the West Ham game at the weekend. West Ham are in a real good form. We've got the same athleticism as what Mikel Antonio got. We got Traore. Go on, let's just go a little bit more for the throats, really, of Man City, rather than we know they're good and like we're scared to really come out of position too much because they might hurt us in behind. But what if I go and tackle him?
Yeah.
And take the ball off him? And I don't know, go on then. Let's just step it up a little bit. A bit like we said a number of times at half time, really.
Because they're going to be they're frustrated because we're watching Traore and we're watching Neto, and you can see them putting their arms out. You can see them waving their hands because they're not happy. They knew it was going to be like this. They knew it was going to be frustrated tonight. But what you got to do, you got to think, hang on a minute. But when it does come to me, I'm going to try and be positive and brave with it. So keep getting upset about it because it's quality players. You can cause a problem. But if you go to a attitude thinking, I don't know, then you're going to just give the ball back to Man City. Be positive with it.
Do they need that focal point of a striker, Looms? Do they need Willian Jose on to just to occupy those two centre halves a little bit more?
I would say yes. You know, I think against a team like City or a team that's going to be more possession based and dominant, that you do need a focal point that you can get out and he will be stretching the pitch, because then he can bring the likes of a Traore and Neto in. But going back to what Tomo said there, they have to take responsibility. You know, we look to the likes of Neto and Traore to kind of influence this match and do much. The players will look at that. And at the minute, because they're not seeing a lot of it, you can see the frustration. So take responsibility. You know, do the ugly defensive work and get back in, but then be aggressive with the ball. You know, get your head down, run at players. You know, they're fit. They've got that. They've got the engine in it. They can go and go and go. But just if it breaks down, get on the ball again. You go again, and I think that's exactly what we're not seeing at the minute. It's can we pass it? But those two players are such strong runners that it doesn't matter if they're up against two. They've got the quality that they can go. You know, you can see straight away as soon as Traore gets it, he's got 3 bodies round him straight away, because they know that once he opens up, there's players breaking their neck just to get back to try and help out the player. I'm not seeing that from us. They have to influence it.
You know, when he's receiving the ball, though, he's always got his back to play. Maybe if he's just on the half turn or he gets a little bit deep, we see where he can run. Just little like that, he's got to look at.
This is what I said before the match. Both Neto and Traore, they like receiving the ball with their back to goal. They've got to, like you say, open their shoulders. But it's that little if Man City are so dominant, where's the holes going to be? You know, it's in those channels. So it's just little quality clips down. But like Sam's already alluded to, that they're too deep. They're too deep. They've got to try and sometimes, is it cheating? Is it cheating if they actually just stay up and just say, well, okay, well, this is, if it does break down, then that's where we're gonna go with quality. But then they're not doing their job defensively, so you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, is it that fear factor though of being caught with that?
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. Because earlier on they got caught a couple of times where they were running from deep, and that's the fear factor what they've got.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Because the deeper they come, the less chance we got of getting out. More chance of getting out, the less attacks we're going to defend.
Okay, Wolves are heading back out for the second half. Thank you very much, boys. Really interesting debate and discussion. More from Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts after full time here at the Etihad tonight. We'll take a very short break and we'll be back for the second half where hopefully Wolves will be fighting back here at the Etihad.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Embry.
Matchday Live on Wolves.
So here we go, back underway for the second half here at the Etihad Stadium. Wolves will play from left to right as we look at it, which means they're attacking the end where the away support would normally be. And we are hoping that there is going to be a difference in this second half, though. There are no changes at the break just yet, though Fabio Silva, I can see, immediately heading out to warm up. And I think Willian Jose will go and join him as well. So I'll run you through the two teams in just a second as Neto trying to put pressure on Ederson, who can gather up the loose ball. Patricio in goal for Wolves. It is Kiana Hoover and Johnny, the wing backs. Dendoncker, Coady and Saiss, the back three. Semedo, Neves, Moutinho and Neto across the midfield. Traore up top on his own as Neves steps in, and Traore trying to hold off his man, and for the first time trying to get him behind here, and he's flicked it to the right hand side to Semedo, and Traore was taken down off the ball. It's worked backwards to Hoover, infield to Moutinho to try and carry it on. Now for Ruben Neves, trying to work it wide towards Hoover and intercepted by Cancelo.
I'll tell you what, if he'd gone left, Neto was on his own because Carl Walker was coming in from that right back position. He just looked up and looked left, Neto was in. And again, he's not happy at all that he didn't get the ball.
Well, Hoover will step in and win it back again. Neves looking for Semedo, but Moutinho blocked off Kevin De Bruyne, and Nuno's fuming that free kick was given, and Nothing was given for the challenge on Adama Traore a moment ago.
Yeah, as you said, you seen him swarm around him, didn't you? So as soon as he's got that ball. But again, at least that's promising in that second half. I know nothing come of it, but at least we've seen Traore just breaking that line a little bit.
Mahrez finding Rodri, who will turn back out to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Up against Johnny, cutting infield on his left foot, trying to cross from deep, and it's too deep. All the way through for a goal kick. City with Ederson in goal. Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte and João Cancelo. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri in midfield. Riyad Mahrez and Raheem Sterling either side of Gabriel Jesus up top. As Wolves take a goal kick short again. Coady outside the penalty area to the right-hand side of it to Dendoncker. Back to Coady to put his foot through it. Traore challenging. Neves first to the loose ball. Wide to the left-hand side to Johnny. Already it feels like a little bit more attacking intent from Wolves in this second period.
Yeah, so we're starting to have a look. Saying that, then we give the ball away straight away.
Saïs's misplaced pass. Mahrez driving on. Infield to De Bruyne. Middle of the Wolves half. A little short pass to his right-hand side to Rodri. Helped further wide to Bernardo Silva. On for the overlapping run of Kyle Walker, but he knew he was going to be offside, so it's through for a goal kick.
Yeah, he knew he was miles offside, didn't he? He made that initial run and just held on to it, which is a rarity for Man City tonight. Just held on to it a little bit too long. But this is the one, if we determined to take these short goal kicks, one of the midfield lads or a couple of the midfield lads has got to come and help, got to come inside, got to give him something, because as soon as that ball's touched, he's got no option at all. There you go. He's got nothing, but he's got to go long.
Coady for Hoover, who heads it forwards. Laporte, De Bruyne on for Sterling, left-hand side, just into the penalty area now, back onto his right foot. De Bruyne wide for Cancelo, left-footed low cross all the way through, and it rebounds off a couple of bodies into the path of Rui Patricio.
I think Moutinho tried to clear that then. It's his standing leg, and I think he's gone back to Patricio. But again, that's the difference between this. Well, again, we're getting caught.
Neto lost out to Mahrez, who plays it backwards to Walker. The 1-2 with Rodri. Daniel Parsons says he'd take a 1-1 draw tonight. Matt wants to see Coady making more long passes up front.
Better.
Moutinho trying to get a foot in. Sterling just got the better of him. Bernardo Silva carrying it on. Wide to Mahrez, right-hand side, into the penalty area. Trying to run into Johnny. It just about holds him up and forces him wide. Rodri, now for Walker again. That's the right side to De Bruyne. Saïs stepping in ahead of Mahrez. But being forced backwards, he's done well to dig it out from a tight space and find Johnny. He looks for the feet of Traore. It looked like he was being held up there.
Well, I thought he looked like he'd been fouled, but referee didn't agree. Let the play go on.
Nuno is right in the assistant referee's ear.
Yeah.
Saying fairly similar, I imagine. Cancelo on the left-hand side. Trying to find the feet of Sterling. Little back heel. De Bruyne into the penalty. On his left foot, striking across the face of goal. And I think Patricio got a touch on it.
Yeah.
And it's another super save from Rui Patricio to lead to a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, I think he's just got his fingertips to it. Again, we haven't got the replay, but seen De Bruyne just move the ball to his left-hand side, hit it with his left.
Corner's taken short. Here's Riyad Mahrez cutting in left-footed from the right-hand side, blocked by Semedo. Mahrez wins it in the air again, though. Ruben Diaz still forwards, trying to find room, pulling it wide to Bernardo Silva. Backwards to Walker. Walker twisting and turning away from Moutinho. Now up against Neto, trying to run past him. And then Neto drawing the free kick.
Neto did well defending there. But just getting back to that, if we've got the ball at the back, we need an option. Because all they're doing is just letting them have it to play that first ball. And then all of a sudden they're just pressing it. And they've got to get, lads have got to try and get there, get across.
I think we're going to be seeing Fabio Silva fairly soon.
Yeah, looks like it.
As he comes up the steps not far from us and begins stripping down the layers. Willy Bolly is taking his top off. He hasn't been out warming up, so I presume he's just going to go and have a little jog. There's Hoover on the right-hand side. Oh, he miscontrols and has his head in his hands. He's being held up by Sterling. He just got it, didn't get his feet in the right position. Cancelo back in field. But here, Conor Coady screaming chase. Cancelo switching the play for Walker under pressure from Johnny and Neves. Nods it back to Ederson. 52 minutes played. And still Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. At least we've seen a little bit more from Wolves competing in the second period.
Yeah, there's been a little bit more of a bite from them, hasn't that? I think that was probably just a little bit of professional pride there, a little bit. Thinking that we've got to try and get a little bit closer to Man City.
It's Rodri, midway inside the Wolves half, onto Kevin De Bruyne. The lucky bounce takes it through to Rodri, who continues into the penalty area. And it was Cancelo who tried to strike it, blocked. Hoover chasing with Cancelo out wide. Cancelo's kept it in, but presented it to Semedo. The Wolves had everybody back so far deep, it had to go in field to Dendoncker. Now to Neves, trying to help it on towards Johnny. He tried to just poke it forwards into the path of Neto, but didn't get enough on it.
Just can't get out, can we? Just can't get hold of the ball.
I would imagine maybe Hoover off, Semedo to wing back. Fabio Silva on, perhaps?
Yeah, good possibility.
Bernardo Silva driving on, up towards the edge of the penalty area, to his right-hand side to Mahrez. Mahrez back onto his left foot, curling one, and it's another good Rui Patricio save. The chase is on for Hoover, who saved the corner at the expense of a throw.
I know it's difficult for Johnny, and like I say, he's defended well, but it's hard to stop Mahrez coming in on his left because he's got quick feet, and it's so like he gives you that disguise, a little feint, a little bit. But we say it's a great save from Patricio.
Cancelo infield to Rodri. 54 minutes played. Still 1-0 at the Etihad. Bernardo Silva on the dribble again. To the right-hand side to Riyad Mahrez. Back in field to Walker. To Ruben Diaz. Just to the right of the centre circle. Low across it for Laporte. Semedo was closing in. It goes to the left-hand side to Cancelo. Driving on and feeding it in behind for the run of Raheem Sterling. Sterling leaving it for De Bruyne. And De Bruyne was blocked off, and it will be a goal kick. It rebounded off the Belgian.
Well, they're appealing for an offside as well. Conor Coady especially.
And it is Johnny who is being replaced. So Hoover will go to the left-hand side and Semedo back to the right.
Yeah, that's the way it's going, isn't it, Semedo?
So it is an attacking change, and you feel for Johnny, still feeling his way back in after 6 months out injured. And this is a tough one to try and get that.
Well, also as well now, the lads up front, the three, when we haven't got the ball, got to help out that midfield area. Coutinho and Neves.
Traore will go left. Long ball through that Fabio Silva's trying to make the most of, though. Seems sure of his footing, and Kyle Walker got back in front of him. Laporte for Ruben Diaz to Walker, to the right-hand side to Bernardo Silva. Midway inside his own half. Turning away from Traore back to Kyle Walker. It's Fabio Silva. A little bit more free running. Go and get involved, young man.
Yeah.
Loose pass picked up on by Dendoncker on halfway. Back to Saiz. Trying to lift it towards Moutinho. It was closed in by Laporte. Wolves want the free kick. They'll get it. There's a hand in there.
Well, now we've got that extra man. Can we utilise him?
56 minutes played. Jean Moutinho on the ball. Clipping it to the right-hand side to Semedo. Midway inside the half. Couple in from the right-hand touchline. Semedo off on a dribble. Trying to poke it on for the run of Fabio Silva, but he got too much on it. And it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, but at least that's positive from him, from Semedo. Now he's back to his more natural position, fullback. It's just hope we can offer a little bit more going forward now. Well played. Well played.
Neves for Fabio Silva. João Moutinho out to the right side to Semedo. A lot more of the play for Wolves has been in the City half. Neto on his left foot, cutting in from the right, pulling it back to Saiss on the edge of the centre circle. You could hear the shout from John Ruddy there of same side, and it goes to the right-hand touchline to Moutinho. Now to Neto again. Backwards to Dendoncker. 1-2 with Neves. Neves now taking over and trying to thread it through to Neto. It was the right idea, just intercepted by Cancelo. City now with Bernardo Silva. Back to Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, just saying there, Neto's just coming inside on his left foot. We've got 2 or 3 people in the box. And I'll just put it in there. Just put it in there, bit of quality. Conor Coady shouting for his lads to get forward. Moutinho's just gone mad. Neves, they're all squeezing and he's just been stacked back, and that's the problem. If you don't all go, then you just get picked off.
Cancelo on the left-hand side, trying to lift it into the penalty area for the run of Gabriel Jesus, but good header away by Saiss. Moutinho was caught by De Bruyne. Wolves free kick. 58 minutes played at the Etihad tonight. Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. That Leander Dendoncker own goal after 15 minutes, the difference between the two teams. Wolves haven't yet had a shot on or off target. Neto would have been offside for Moutinho's long ball over the top.
Just got to keep going, keep believing, keep playing. Try and frustrate Man City, keep going. I know they've got that one goal, but they might get frustrated and leave little gaps in space as the game goes on. Just keep playing.
And here comes Bernardo Silva driving deep again. Out to the right-hand side to Mahrez. Support from Walker. Wide again for Riyad Mahrez. Being forced back to the halfway line, and Walker into his own half under pressure from Traore. Back to Ederson. Fabio Silva half closing in, waiting for him to put his foot through it, and he'll kick it straight to Romain Saiss. Saiss looking for Traore, flicked wide to Hoover. Hoover shown back in field, finds Ruben Neves on halfway. To Conor Coady. Coady turning him back, looking towards the Wolves' left. To his left-hand side to Saiss. Saiss is going to try and hit a crossfield ball, and it's a good one. And it's collected by Semedo. Sliding challenge of Cancelo, but Semedo still has it. He's having to go backwards, though. That's where the majority of his players are.
Yeah. That's better play, though, for Semedo.
Here comes Pedro Neto. Down the right-hand side for Wolves. Infield to Moutinho. Facing his own goal, though, and he's won a free kick as Rodri and Bernardo Silva closed in.
Well, it seemed better at the moment, doesn't it? They seem to be edging the way back into the game. They're starting to have a little bit more possession.
Well, feels a long way out, this.
Yeah.
Neto and Moutinho to stand over it. City are trying to hold their defensive line level with the edge of the penalty area. It's ever so slightly to the right of centre as you look towards goal. João Moutinho placing the ball purposely. Saiss. Conor Coady's come forwards from the back. Dendoncker is in there as well. Can they pick one of them out? It'll be João Moutinho to lift it in. It was yes. Coady arriving. Oh, my word!
Silva.
Oh, stunning!
Oh, it's Conor Coady.
Conor Coady! The wait is over, and Wolves are back on level terms at the Etihad Stadium. And a day many thought they would never see. Conor Coady has scored for Wolverhampton Wanderers again.
Oh, what a quality ball in, though. And again, we talk about people being committed and putting your head where it hurts. And he did that. He went down. He ducked down, got his head to it. John Ederson. Oh.
1,046 days since he last scored.
Got to start again now.
133 appearances between his Wolves goals. Conor Coady has now got 3 Wolves goals in 264 appearances.
Oh, but they've been edging the way back into the game, though, haven't they? And again, just been able to get that free kick, put that delivery in. He was looking at it, putting it on the mark. And the bravery of Conor Coady diving in to get his head to it.
I say this again because you might need to pinch yourself. Conor Coady has scored a goal and Wolves are level at the Etihad. Here's Mahrez cutting infield from the right-hand side on towards the run of Gabriel Jesus. It's Coady defensive this time. Bernardo Silva infield, Rodri to flick it forwards. And they've got men on here. Gabriel Jesus firing it over the top of the crossbar.
Just got the wrong side of Jesus, but he was able just to put a little bit more pressure on him, which made him just snap at his shot. But again, you mentioned Conor Coady. Even Conor Coady's up there. I think the shout was from you, wasn't it?
Oh, my word.
Oh. Well, it just shows you when you have a go, be a bit braver in that top third. And it has made a difference, I think, the change.
Still can't believe it.
No. Yeah.
63 minutes played. And most importantly, Wolves are in this game now.
Well, they're back on level terms, aren't they? Just got to be careful now that they don't give it away cheaply. They've got themselves back into it. But they've got the goal from being a little bit braver and pushing City back a little bit. I know it's a free kick, but again, they've got the free kick from people being more advanced up the pitch.
Here comes City again, though. Bernardo Silva out to the right-hand side to Mahrez. 25 yards from goal. Back in field to Bernardo Silva. Now for Mahrez. He's going to try and lift it across the penalty area for João Cancelo. Cancelo trying to cut back in field, trying to strike. Blocked off by Pedro Neto. Picked up by Laporte. Laporte wide again for Cancelo. Infield blocked off by Dendoncker and Neto trying to carry it on. Laporte will step in and win it back. Sterling has it. Been closed down by Neves. Back to Laporte into the centre circle to Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, he was unlucky there from Neto, wasn't it? So he just got his foot to it, but he just off balance a little bit.
Here they are, though, into the danger zone again through Jesus, and it's fired across the face of goal. And it will be a corner.
Well, they're appealing for offside. They're saying it's offside, all the back line of Wolves.
Sean Macialis's flag stayed down. And Wolves' goal lived a little bit of a charmed life that time.
Well, again, so look, it's got to just stick to the guns now. They've got themselves on level terms. Don't throw it away. But they were adamant it was offside.
De Bruyne's corner, right footed from the left-hand side, headed away by Saiz from the edge of the 6-yard box. Sterling, infield to Walker, now further right to Mahrez. Mahrez up towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to feed it on towards Bernardo Silva. It's a little bit behind him. He's passed back towards Mahrez. Traore snapping away, trying to win possession back. Mahrez infield to De Bruyne. De Bruyne just poking it across goal under pressure from João Moutinho. And there's an offside flag this time.
I don't know where that's come from. Was it 5 minutes ago? Was the offside? Was it?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Manchester City won. Wolves won. 65.5 minutes played. And Conor Coady's going to do things like that. Get him up for all the set pieces.
Get him up in there for this set play. Free kick.
It's lifted forwards towards Fabio Silva. Moutinho challenging. Semedo trying to come away with the ball, and he's done so. Pedro Neto has it. Blocked off by Gabriel Jesus.
I don't know what's wrong with Neto in this game at the minute. He's not been as confident as he usually has, because rather than driving forward what he normally does, he's just checking back. Just knock it into the space.
Aymeric Laporte, just to the left of the centre circle, carrying it over halfway now. A little short pass to Rodri. And his ball's going to go all the way through to Rui Patricio. And the applause you can hear is from the Wolves bench to our left-hand side.
Well, they've definitely knocked him off the stride a little bit, haven't they? So they've come into this game a little bit more. It's got to keep going, keep working hard, try and limit Man City with the ball.
Conor Coady, the first Englishman to score a Wolves goal in 97 games, by the way. Not since Ryan Bennett have Wolves had an Englishman score a goal. The last 96 had all been scored by non-Englishmen.
There you go.
Here's Semedo driving onto Fabio Silva, up towards the edge of the box. Back to Traore. Traore trying to find room to strike it, and it was charged down in the end by Ruben Diaz. And Ederson has just kept the ball in.
Oh, that was a shame. It just opened up for a Traore, didn't it? Good run from Silva, though. And Semedo down this right-hand side. It's given a little bit of belief, hasn't it, that goal?
Here comes Mahrez on the right-hand side again for City, trying to slide it into Gabriel Jesus. Mahrez continuing on, foot in by Dendoncker. It was an important one, and Moutinho forward to Pedro Neto. And Adama Traore is setting off, and Pedro Neto has found him. It's Traore up into the penalty area, striking it goalwards and lifting it over the top of the crossbar. Wolves want the corner, and they're getting the corner.
I was going to say, it looked like a corner to me. It's off his back. Oh.
Well, this game has completely turned on its head now.
Well, there you go. So, look, first bit of link-up play with Neto. Just playing Traore in.
Don't forget, use the hashtag Wolves Live if you want to get in touch with us. 68.5 minutes played. And would you believe it, after the first hour or so of play, Wolves are level and looking the more likely in the last couple of minutes to maybe snatch another. As Neto's corner goes flying in, Ederson didn't quite get there. Fabio Silva pulling it backwards to Hoover, who lifts it through in the danger zone, and it's just taken by Ederson low down at the right-hand post.
Oh, that could have gone anywhere. That could have gone anywhere.
Adama Traore was waiting, and it nearly reached him.
Well, that's just gone for Man City players. You want to hit it and miss-hit it. Oh, good
Moutinho,
tackle.
Brilliant tackle. And Wolves suddenly have players swarming forwards. They're 5-on-3. Moutinho to Pedro Neto, right side of the penalty area. Neto striking, it's blocked. It comes back to Traore, who puts his left foot through it and smashes it over the top of the crossbar.
But that's all come from Moutinho being tight, winning that tackle in the midfield. We've got 5 players attacking there. They're back 4. It's a shame that we just didn't get anything out of it, but more positive. Confidence has grown in them. You can hear the coaching staff just in front of us.
Well, this is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. What a difference a goal can make. Wolves are swarming all over Man City. With 20 minutes to go. Here comes Bernardo Silva as the home side, the champions-elect, try and continue on. Bernardo Silva's cross from the right-hand side. Dendonker's headed to the edge of the box. De Bruyne striking it goalwards, and Rui Patricio was well behind it.
Yeah, just got to be careful of that back line still, haven't they? Don't give anything away. Keep tight. Well, we brought the extra striker on to give him a problem. It's done that. So just keep him working.
Fabio Silva challenging. Moutinho with a foot in. Neto. Neto can't hold off Kevin De Bruyne. Gets it back from Sterling and continues on his charge. He was just caught by his sliding challenger, Pedro Neto. And Man City get a free kick, and Neto, I think, is going to get a yellow card.
He's tried to catch him, hasn't he? He's tried to bring him down.
Feels like the yellow was almost as much a response to Kevin De Bruyne's reaction than anything else. Man City 1, Wolves 1. Remember, City haven't been behind in any of their last 18 games before tonight.
Well, we had a chance, didn't we, just a few seconds ago.
They only conceded 4 in the last 16 home games in all competitions. And they've conceded to Conor Coady.
He sounds surprised.
He's only ever had one shot at one effort on goal in the Premier League, Tomo. More than 100 appearances. He's a goal machine.
Great header.
Here's De Bruyne. Out to the left-hand side. Gabriel Jesus just inside the penalty area. Being held up by Semedo. Backwards to Cancelo, who's been a lot quieter second half, dare I say. Wolves have got to grips with it a hell of a lot better. Maybe City just eased off a little bit and it's cost them, because Wolves have grown in confidence. Bernardo Silva now finding Mahrez on the right-hand side, on his left foot, whipping across into the danger zone, looping header from Gabriel Jesus, but I think it was Coady who put him off, and it came off Coady and behind for another Man City corner.
I think Conor Coady's got into him a little bit, just got the header just before him, just jerked his back a little bit. But yeah, it's good positioning from him. Didn't allow him to get that free header. Jesus.
De Bruyne right-footed from the left-hand side. Everybody back to defend this. De Bruyne's whipped in delivery. It's Cody's header to outside the penalty area. Sterling dropped down to Martinho, who's lost out to Kevin De Bruyne, who tried to flick it over the top of him. De Bruyne continuing on, checking back in field, finding Sterling. Sterling trying to switch the play out to the right-hand side. Just inside the box is Bernardo Silva. Mahrez on the overlap. Low one all the way through and somehow wide of the far post as City had players closing in. Wolves' goal survives and it's still 1-1 with 73 played.
I think it was Laporte, who's just had the chance. Just put it wide. Just got to keep focused now. 17 minutes to go. And with the way that they're going, you'd think that Wolves are going to have another chance.
Saiz looking to lift it forwards.
That's better.
Towards the run of Adama Traore. Traore's ball back in field, intercepted by Bernardo Silva, though.
That was unlucky, Salah, but that's a better ball, as I said about playing the ball down the side to one of the strikers. Did they? Just couldn't keep hold of it, Traore. But again, better ball from Patricio.
Ruben Diaz to his right-hand side to Walker, over halfway to the midway point of the half for Bernardo Silva. A little short pass behind him to Riyad Mahrez. Down the line for Bernardo again. Riyad Mahrez has continued to run in field. The ball will go to Rodri. Pulled backwards to Laporte. Switched out to the left-hand side to Sterling. Now to Cancelo, turning away from Pedro Neto to the corner of the box for Sterling. 5 yards wider. Up against Semedo, just about holding on to it. De Bruyne forced backwards to Laporte. He'll turn and feed it back wide to the left-hand touchline to Cancelo. Cancelo to De Bruyne to Laporte, midway inside the half. Infield to Ruben Diaz, a couple of yards out of the centre circle. Switch to the right-hand side, inside right for Bernardo Silva, out to the touchline to Riyad Mahrez, who cuts back infield onto his left foot, looking to try and shape it into the box, and a diving header away by Leander Dendoncker concedes a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, got to stay disciplined now. So need to get out there. Got a short corner. Just be careful. Yeah, they played it.
Bernardo Silva carrying it in field. De Bruyne to lift it in first time. Saïs's header away. Neves down. Fabio Silva now to Traore, and Traore is trying to set off at speed, but he's played the ball too far ahead of himself, and Cancelo intercepted. And here comes Raheem Sterling midway inside the Wolves half. To the inside right to Bernardo Silva, 30 yards from goal. Wide to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez up against Keanu Hoover. Little back heel. Low one into the box again and turned behind by Conor Coady, flinging himself down to the ground to head it behind for another Manchester City corner.
Well, the thing is, that's what's got to be done. You've got to do it. It's stubborn defending from Wolves at the minute. Just got to keep going. They're having a good spell at the minute, Man City.
Corner again taken short. De Bruyne trying to play it in. It was blocked by Ruben Neves. And it's worked wide to Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side. His left-footed cross is going deep into the danger zone. Patricio has come and punched. Wolves want a free kick, not going to get it. Raheem Sterling on his right foot, curling one. It hits the head of Leander Dendoncker, loops to the edge of the box. Neves trying to head it away. Fabio Silva trying to nod it down, but way too far ahead of João Martinho. And back come Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side again, trying to go on the outside of Hoover, and Hoover puts it behind for yet another Manchester City corner. Their fifth of the second half alone.
Yeah, so like Man City are building a little bit of momentum again at night. Just got to be careful, especially with De Bruyne just on the edge of that 18-yard box. Got to get out a little bit more.
Again, taken short. De Bruyne Across to Sterling, a couple of yards outside the penalty area, cutting in on his right foot. Curling one. Oh, that's a brilliant save. And it's going to be given as a goal kick. And from where we are, it looked for all the world as if Rui Patricio got something on that. I'm still not convinced he didn't.
I think he's got his fingers to that. I think they've got it wrong. I think he's just got a faint touch on that. He'll be upset that you can give him that. But again,
he may well have hit the outside of the post because City haven't complained too much.
Maybe then. He must have been then. I thought he got his fingertips to that though.
He's had a very good game, Rui Patricio. You wouldn't put it past him. Fabio Silva fouling Aymeric Laporte. For what, 77.5 minutes played. Manchester City 1, Wolves 1. Here comes City again down the right-hand side. Riyad Mahrez playing it all the way back to the left-hand side of the centre circle to Laporte. Trying to diagonal ball forwards.
Oh, well played, Neves.
I'm not sure Patricio did get a touch on it. Watching it on my phone now.
Didn't he? Okay.
No, it clips the outside of the post.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Man City 1, Wolves 1. Fabio Silva can't get anything on now. Long ball forwards that Cancelo can play it to Ruben Diaz, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. He will find Kyle Walker. Walker up towards the halfway line, being shown back in field. Ruben Diaz inside the centre circle. To the left-hand side to João Cancelo. Closed down by Traore. Infield to Laporte. Now to De Bruyne. De Bruyne with Moutinho for company. Out to the left-hand side to Sterling, level with the edge of the penalty area. Back infield to De Bruyne. Traore got a foot in, so did Dendoncker. And now Traore can try and carry it forwards. Trying to turn infield away from a couple of challenges and trying to do so again. And Sterling and Rodri have picked his pocket. Here's Gabriel Jesus. Jesus to Riyad Mahrez. Closed down by Neves. It goes to the right-hand side for Walker on the charge. Just held up by Hoover. Mahrez again. It's been forced backwards. Wolves trying to get bodies back behind the ball. Mahrez on for the run of Walker. Right-hand side of the penalty. A low one in. Blocked by Semedo, and it's going to be turned home. Gabriel Jesus in the right place. Slap bang in the centre of Wolves' goal. They just could not hold them off forever. And Manchester City restore their lead. City 2, Wolves 1. It's Gabriel Jesus with a goal.
Yeah, it's just been unfortunate. They've been stubborn defending, but relentless Man City attacks. Just kept coming wave after wave. Got to do something. They've got to do better when they get the ball, get the opportunity. Well, got to go again. Got to try and get themselves up. We've got 10 minutes left. Oh, they're having a VAR check or something.
Kyle Walker, I imagine, is the man that they are checking. Saying we don't have any screens where we are in the Etihad, so we can't see exactly what the check is for, and nothing has come up on the big screen just yet, but no goal is given.
Yeah.
Wolves got away with one in the first half. Okay, Gundogan is coming on. Yeah. And Bernardo Silva is the man being replaced.
Yeah, furthest man away. Even Man City do it.
It was the dangerous ball in the box that Wolves had 3 players chasing back towards goal. And in the end, it was perfectly laid on a plate for Gabriel Jesus. I think Semedo and Dendoncker maybe getting each other's way, and that's how it ends up reaching him.
Yeah, but they were building momentum, weren't they? City.
Now here's Mahrez. 8.5 minutes left to play.
Well
Dendoncker closing down De Bruyne. Came back to Rodri. Now Laporte. It's all about City, I imagine now, because it's It's that stage where do they go and try and get a third and leave themselves open to a Wolves counter? Or do they just try and kill the game off from here?
I think they'll just be patient with the ball, just keep it moving. If the opportunity comes to them, they'll try and take it. But I think they won't put anything at risk. I think they'll just keep possession of the ball.
Ruben Diaz trying to switch the play with a diagonal that's intercepted by the head of Hoover. And Saiss under pressure from Gabriel Jesus back to Rui Patricio, who puts his foot through it. Fabio Silva has jumped underneath the ball. Neto was challenging, but Kyle Walker has possession. Will Nuno go to his subs bench?
Well, I think he's having a discussion, isn't he?
Pedro Silva, his number 2, is out alongside him. There's Willie Bolly, Morgan Gibbs-White. I think a very cold-looking Ryan Aït-Nouri make their way back. Almost got as many layers on as I have now.
Yeah, you got some more on the top phone, didn't you?
Well, you got your heated blanket out. I didn't bring mine. Loose pass by Cancelo. Coady intercepting.
Oh.
Fizzed it into Traore, and luckily it bounced straight to Martinho. Semedo.
Got no option forward, had he? Because Traore had come back a little bit, just had no option.
Coady. Traore was pointing, he just wanted it knocked long. It hit the back of Cancelo. And Traore trying to battle away with him, but Cancelo's done well. He plays it infield to Gundogan. Now De Bruyne. Back for Ruben Diaz to De Bruyne again. Hoover thought he could nick it, didn't quite do so ahead of Walker. Wolves are hunting here.
Well, might as well try and get themselves back into it.
City have managed to work it out from a tight area. And now Mahrez on the right-hand side, driving deep and driving in towards the edge of the Wolves penalty area and still running and twisting again. And eventually he is held up by Hoover. Hoover can't quite keep control of the ball. Gundogan back for De Bruyne. Walker wide again to Kevin De Bruyne, who will set himself for a low cross that hits Keanu Hoover and goes down to play for a throw by the corner flag.
Yeah, he did well there, Hoover, to get back. Defending with Mahrez, because Mahrez was doing step over after step over. Did well just to watch the ball. I think he's just got hit by De Bruyne's attempted cross.
We have 5.5 minutes left to play. Manchester City 2, Wolves 1. They've come back from a goal down already in this game, with their only effort on goal in the entire match, apart from, well, only effort on target, shall we say. As there was a couple of Adama Traore efforts that were a long way over the top. Wolves getting a free kick midway inside their own half. Technically, if you count those that have been blocked and off target, Wolves have had 5 efforts in this game. Man City have had 19. 7 of which were on target. Long straight ball looking to get Fabio Silva in behind, and it just got a touch by Ruben Diaz, and then Cancelo just beat Traore to it, but Neves and Neto combining to win it back. Martinho to Neto. Neto away from Ruben Diaz, trying to run on the outside of Kyle Walker. Low cross took a little deflection, and Gundogan got there ahead of Semedo. City just about saw off the danger.
Yeah, just unlucky there, wouldn't they?
And they might now be able to hit on a counter of their own. Riyad Mahrez driving through the middle of the Wolves half. On again here to Raheem Sterling. Sterling trying to cut back on his right foot, waiting for support. Finds Mahrez, and there's a good foot in there.
Well defended. Needs to pull out wide, Traore, give him something.
Martinho carrying it up towards halfway. Wide to the feet of Traore. Doesn't fancy having a go at João Cancelo.
He's had a couple of battles with him. And
Neves, lovely ball out to the left-hand side to Neto. It's Pedro Neto up against Walker, trying to go past him on the outside. That came off Walker. It'll be a Wolves corner. They couldn't, could they? With 4 minutes to go.
Well done there. Being positive. Just keep pushing forward. The lad's coming up from the back.
Cody's looking and asking the question whether he should come up for this one as well.
No, he's been told to stay.
Dendoncker and Saiss have gone forwards this time. 3 minutes just over to play. Moutinho right-footed from the left-hand side. Lifted in towards the near post. It was headed away by Laporte. Picked up by Hoover. Little back heel. Finding Neto on the left-hand side. Sets himself. Whips across in. Dendoncker got across his man. But he couldn't keep his header down. And it's behind for a goal kick. And it's still City 2, Wolves 1.
Just got too much on it. Dendoncker, good ball in from Neto from that left-hand side. But again, it's just showing you glimpses what they can do and cause problems for Man City.
Well, here's an interesting one. Owen Otazawi is going to come on. He's getting stripped ready, not too far away from us.
Well, they've done a lot of chasing tonight, haven't they? The Wolves players worked hard.
Got a big game to come at the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Launched forwards by Edison. Moutinho racing across and heads the ball out of play. Can they get something late on in this game? A little bit of late drama, perhaps. Wouldn't have thought they'd have still been in it at this stage after what we saw in the first period. As Fabio Silva flicks it over his head for Neto to chase. Ruben Diaz clearing to halfway. It's De Bruyne's turn to flick it on. And Gabriel Jesus has got the better of it. And it's a sliding challenge by Dendoncker that intercepts.
Well played.
Good play by Saiss and Hoover. Moutinho back to Kiana Hoover. Moutinho back to Coady on the just inside his own box, and a little 1-2 with Dendoncker as Mahrez was chasing, and this is good stuff for Wolves.
Better, isn't it? It's better.
On in behind for Neto to chase, and his pace is going to put real pressure on Kyle Walker, but Walker fell to the ground and Man City get a free kick.
Yeah, just a bit unlucky. He's put. I don't think there was much in it. But again, it's positive play.
It's Ruben Neves, who will be replaced.
He's worked hard in there, hasn't he? Done a lot of chasing.
So time for Owen Otazawi to make a name for himself.
Well, that was it last time he cornered sub. He had that chance, didn't he? Was it a header?
Yep, his last appearance was away at Brighton, where he could have won it in the last touch of the game.
Yeah.
Here comes De Bruyne on the right-hand side, tracked by Hoover all the way to the corner flag. He's trying to play it off Hoover for a corner, and Hoover wisely jumped over the top of it. Otazawi has lost it inside the penalty area, though. Gundogan trying to tee it up for Sterling. Semedo with a foot in, and it's curled into the bottom corner by Riyad Mahrez. And Manchester City surely now are going to wrap up all 3 points. Wolves gave it as much as they had in this second period. They were back level for a long, lengthy time. But in the end, Riyad Mahrez here has got City's third as the board goes up for the added time. A mistake by Owen Otazawi, and it allowed City to just tee it up for Riyad Mahrez to curl it into the bottom corner. Manchester City 3, Wolves 1.
Yeah, so look, a bit disappointed to give away that third goal. So they've got themselves back into it, got a little bit of fight and a little bit of a go there just in the last couple of minutes. But then it just shows you how clinical Man City are when they get a chance. Just to kill teams off.
It's unfortunate because Semedo closed in on Sterling and the ball just sat perfectly for Mahrez. And here's Moutinho. Traore. It's just behind Semedo. Well, we'll get the thoughts of Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts after the game. It feels cruel that not too many will want to remember Conor Coady's special moment that got Wolves back on level terms in this second half. Collector's item. Fabio Silva trying to chase, but Ruben Diaz back to Edison. And it's that element as well, Tomo, isn't it, where, you know, Manchester City are going to be champions this year. They may well win everything they're in.
Well,
losing to them is no real disgrace.
No, it isn't. So look, they look a good side, but they give themselves a chance, didn't they, Wolves? They give themselves a chance, a fighting chance with that leveller. But it's just needed to keep that momentum going and try and keep press or keep Man City off the backs a little bit.
Had a great spell, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just after it went 1-1, where
Well,
Traore had a couple of efforts.
Well, we had that chance where Moutinho did that tackle in the midfield area where we had 5 against 4. And if you just capitalised on that a little bit better, who knows? But it just shows you the class that Man City have got.
Saiss playing the ball infield to Conor Coady. Back to Romain Saiss. Now for Pedro Neto. Back to Saiss again. Saiss will try and find the feet of a forward, but he was intercepted by Rodri. And City might go and try and find a fourth here. Gundogan to strike it from distance and against Patricio saving, but the follow-up will be turned in by Gabriel Jesus, but the offside flag is up.
Yeah,
the fourth goal would have been cruel.
Well, again, that's come from us giving the ball away. Cheaply, no reason to give it away.
Well, they will check it, of course, on VAR. But the way Man City players have run back, I think they're well aware that this won't be given. They'll go through the process anyway.
Well, the way that the Man City players have gone back, he was like quite clear offside by the look of it.
Gabriel Jesus is still discussing things with Chris Kavanagh. He wants that goal to be given. Of course he does.
I'm sure he does.
I'll say again, we don't have any screens here, so we can't see what the check is, how close it is.
Well, it must be closer than you think. It's taken this long.
All the players asking the question of Chris Kavanagh. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference to the outcome of the game, in fairness. So you may as well just say disallow it and let's carry on.
How long is it taking if it's that clear?
Again, all eyes on Chris Kavanagh. I think he might be onside, you know. Just from watching it on my phone, I think they might end up giving this goal. I've seen a very quick replay, very small on the phone. I think they may well end up giving this. Gabriel Jesus in conversation with Conor Coady now. Still all eyes on Chris Kavanagh, who is blowing his whistle, and yet goal given. Well, it's cruel, isn't it? It's cruel. Wolves don't deserve a 3-goal defeat for the manner they've gone about it in the second period. And that's the final action as the referee blows the final whistle. For a period in the second half, it looked like Wolves were going to produce something special when Conor Coady got his first Wolves goal after 133 appearances without scoring. 1,046 days since he last netted. It got Wolves on level terms, but City kept pressing and the champions-elect got themselves back in front with 10 minutes to go through Gabriel Jesus benefiting from a little deflection that teed it up inside the penalty area. Riyad Mahrez added another one late on before Gabriel Jesus finished off the scoring with the final kick of the game, thanks to VAR deciding that he was onside following up Ilkay Gundogan's shot that was well saved by Rui Patricio, who made some super stops all the way through the match, especially in the first half, that kept it down to only 1 goal at the break. Not many would have expected much from this trip to the Etihad. This Manchester City team are now 28 games unbeaten in all competitions. Wolves gave us hope. It wasn't quite enough to see the job through, and it finishes Manchester City 4, Wolves 1.
Yeah, in that first half, so like just to go in at half time 1-0, so like you're thinking, well, maybe gives you the chance still in the game. He was able to level the game with Conor Coady header from a free kick. But just towards the end there, I don't know if it was people being tired or distracted, but they just give away that ball a couple of times and then they get punished. And that's what Man City can do to you. They can punish you if you get a little bit sloppy with anything. But Man City look good. Man City look a strong unit. They look a strong team. And it just shows you how well they've done and the run that they're on at the minute. and they look like they're untouchable with the way things are going.
Yeah, beaten perhaps, I would say, by the best team in Europe, Manchester City.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tell you what, so they look some outfit at the minute. So look, they look like they've got strength of power in every department on the field.
Well, we'll take a short break and then we'll hear more from Tomo, and we'll also hear from Chris Iwelumo and Sam Ricketts as well here on Wolves TV Matchday Live Extra. Don't go anywhere. The reaction is coming next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So full time at the Etihad Stadium tonight, and it finished Manchester City 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. We'll get to some of the details in a minute, boys, but let's just start off by marking a remarkable moment that many of us may never see again. Conor Coady actually scored a goal. It feels like an awful long time ago, Chris Iwelumo, but I just want to start there because for a remarkable period in that second half, it looked like Wolves might have got something from the game.
No, I have to agree. Fantastic goal. It was very brave header, and I have to say, at 1-1, it looked like we were going to be the ones to go on and get that next goal. You know, we had some opportunities, and that's what I'm saying about the small margins. You know, Man City were always going to take control of the game again and have wave and wave of attack. But just if you have that little bit of quality in that moment, you know, there was a little bit of luck. I think it's came off the heel, and it's been a good save. I'm disappointed because the 4-1 result doesn't really kind of tell what the match was about. Second half was a much better account of ourselves. You know, I think Fabio Silva coming off gave us a kind of point, an outlet was better. I think Neto and Traore in the second half were much better. They played with an idea, had a plan, were direct. The quality shone through. Still want more. But that one's hurt me, you know, that the players will come in because the 3 late goals is it's always a hard one to take when you're defending well as well. You know, you think, okay, we can do this, you know, then all of a sudden just a moment of quality can just kind of change it and turn it on its head. I was surprised at 2-1 down that Conor Coady wasn't allowed to go up for the corner. You know, just put yourself in the position again, you know, but again, it's the way that Nuno likes, just defensively sound, and we've got players that can go and do that. But yeah, it's hurt me. That one's hurt me.
It's a funny feeling, isn't it, Sam Ricketts? Because I'm not sure that, you know, I feel like it would be harsh to say that the scoreline flatters City, because look, they're an excellent team and they had a lot of chances, and yet it still does feel a little bit harsh on Wolves.
I think that's because, like Looms has said there was a spell in that second half where all of a sudden the tempo increased and we were in the game, creating the chances, winning the ball back, breaking, and it boiled down to basically what Darash Vassell said before the game. When you get those opportunities, and he said about Neto and Traore before the game, be clinical. Well, Traore had a good few chances and he missed the target, blazing over the bar or taking a little deflection over another one. I know, but they're those moments that if you're clinical, hit the target, Wolves go ahead. It's a different game if Wolves get ahead in the game. It means all of a sudden, City have to come out even more. Wolves got something to hold on to. So mentally, it's far easier to hold on when you're winning than you're 1-0 down, you're trying to get back in the game. Wolves will keep doing that in a minute, but there was a spell, like I said, in that second half where Wolves upped the tempo and took the game to City, and all of a sudden we were getting shots, we were getting chances, we got a goal, and you were thinking, here we go again. We could do this again.
So, okay, on that basis then, because there will be fans who will be watching this now and kind of saying, well, why couldn't they play like that the whole game? What changed after half time that allowed them to have that period of play?
Well, what changed was when you walk in to the dressing room after 45 minutes like that, there's a few harsh words being said, I believe. I think, but it has to start like that. Sam called it at half time, saying showed City far too much respect, sat off them, never got in their faces. Yeah, they're a good side. Yeah, they can play through a high press, but it doesn't mean you don't do it. You still have to, they still let them earn the right to play the way that they want. They are good enough to do that, but still, if you just kind of intercept or force an error, then it gives you a kind of impetus to go on and grow into the match. It never happened. So I think there's a few harsh words said, a few little tweaks to the formation, and then the second half was better. It was better. It wasn't great, but there was moments in that second half where, like you say, if the quality or that instinct, that killer instinct was there, then you could just get that second goal, and like you say, that changes the game altogether.
Tomo says it a lot, intensity. He said it before the game, got to be intense without the ball, and we weren't first half and we were second half. And we always say at half time, we played better second half with better intensity. We keep saying it. We need to start with that level of tempo in the game.
Sam, in the first half, it was all game. Even though when we pressed well and we were going probably not as a collective and individuals, but City just play the same way anyway. They already have the picture in their head. It's a very composed pass. That they're very controlled no matter the pressure you put them under. But you still have to go together. You still have to go with that, like you say, that intensity. And if you don't, it's even easier for them. And that's why they were so dominant with the ball.
Yeah, Wolves aren't a big physical output team. They don't cover loads of distance. There's an element second half. We're trying to break with Traore or Neto and take it. I know Traore sometimes slows it down. He takes a couple of touches, then rolls a man and beats them. But we were breaking, and we were still breaking with 2, possibly 3 players. And yet Man City, who had been on the attack around the Wolves box, all of a sudden had 2 banks of fullback. And yet we still only have 2 or 3 players there. We don't break and support quick enough. That's one of the criticisms really to the way Wolves play from the very structured way of playing. But to be fair to City, they work so hard with and without possession. They are hard to play against, but we showed that it is possible to do so. And it showed for a 15, 20-minute period where, hey, the game's there. The game was there for the taking.
Go on, Tomo. You look like you wanted to jump in.
Yes, I just think that's, and I've said it before the game. I said it at half time. Just be brave with the ball. We had an opportunity in that second half. It was 1 each. We had 5 against 4 attacking, and you just want somebody just to be the one and take it at City. Just be confident to go out there. Now we've gone at them. He's passed the ball to Neto. He's come off his back, gone out for a corner. But I just think that if we were more committed to it, had more of a go, had a bit more belief, maybe, that we were going to get something out of the game, even though it was against Man City, even though the possession what they had. It's just having that belief against the team. Look, and they're a very good team. We've come here tonight and you've just seen probably the champions of this year, but we had an opportunity in that second half where we got in amongst them a little bit more, started to put a few passes together, started to look more of a threat, got that equaliser. Surely that must give you that belief that you're going to get something out of the game. And if that's not, then you don't know what's going to give. But you had an opportunity to put Man City on the backside a little bit, and I thought that we had a good chance. Even though first half they were all over us, second half they still had a lot of possession, but we had an opportunity to take it and hope and try and get ourselves in front.
It's that element, isn't it, Looms, where, look, this Manchester City team are an exceptionally good team. Our guests beforehand talked about it. We all discussed it. There's a reason why they are 28 games unbeaten. I think that's 21 wins in a row now. And yet, Wolves fans watching tonight and listening to us tonight will have wanted Wolves to have a go at them. And I don't think they did first half, did they? But at least there is an element that they did second half. And is that what we need to take away from tonight, looking ahead towards Aston Villa at the weekend, that we now know over the course of the last couple of weeks, the standards that Wolves have to be at, fitness-wise as well as technically, to get themselves something from a football match?
Yeah, definitely. I think we know where we've got to be. I think the players know themselves that they were nowhere near where they should be that first half. All saying that City are very, very good, but again, the intensity without the ball, with the ball, it has to be better. You've seen little glimpses of it in the second half, and look what you get. You get a free kick, you get a goal, then you get a little moment 10, 15 minutes after that where you're creating chances. The one that Moutinho wins in the middle of the pitch, and it's 5 against 3. Man City, I thought, defended so well then when he released Neto. They slowed it down, that Neto had to come back rather than take it into goal. So I just feel that you have to take the positives out of it. 4-1, it hurts. If anything, you go and you take that into the next match. You work on the negatives. Little things like the likes of Traore and Neto. They are very comfortable getting the ball to feet, but they can go in behind. It doesn't need to be the ball to chest or body. It can be that quality one in behind for them to run onto, which I think would have played more of a part tonight, would have gave them more of a chance to hurt City. But again, there is positives to take out, that we have quality against a very good side that we should have done better when we were on top. So we have to take that into the next match. Work on the negatives. That this intensity that we've had a problem from this start of this campaign, from starting matches, the first 45 minutes. How many times have we said it's like a different team that's came out in the second half, and then they get the result, they've shown the character, they've got the quality, they get the goal, they go on and get a couple of goals, they get the 3 points. But it's not gonna happen all the time. But there is positives to take out tonight, like the moments of quality that we've seen tonight in the second half. They have to take that into the next match, but it has to be from the word go.
The biggest problem with us starting the game slow at the minute is, and we keep talking about it, we keep going behind. Behind.
Yeah.
We're having to come back. Even if you start the game nice and steady, controlled, and you get to half-time drawing, at least you're at a level where 1 goal wins you the game, not 1 goal gets you back in the game you're needing to go on and get again. And that's the biggest frustration, I think, with the lack of intensity in the first half, isn't it? We go a goal behind, we up the tempo, come back and win the game or draw the game. That's just the one element that you want to take forward. And I think Nuno's, he's tried to change shape. I don't know whether it is the intensity, but he's trying to make the team go to that next level. I don't think it's a shape issue. I think it's more an intensity issue. Back 3 definitely suits the players we've got. Just can you play with that bit more intensity? We've seen there a spell in the second half. We've taken the champions to nearly a 50-50 game. We've got back in at 1-1. It was whoever scored the next goal was a real big tell. And they only scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. But there was an element there we thought, hold on, I can see what the future can hold when we up that tempo.
But there's no doubt about the talent that we got in the squad. There's no doubt about it. We've got the quality into that. But I think we saw it in the first half. And look, it was always going to be tough to get the ball. But you've seen that the players are getting a little bit frustrated, especially the front 2. They've got to have that belief, for me. I feel like they've got the ability. There's some great players in the team and in the squad. They've just got to believe that they can actually do it. And again, I keep talking about it, that when we play with an intensity or high intensity, we're a different team for me. I think that we look more of an attacking force. We look more of a problem to teams. It's when we start to slow it down and get methodical and start to pass it across the back and attract teams onto us. When we get a little bit more concise and more going forward and positive, I think that we hurt teams. And again, the positives are we know we can do it. We've just got to try and do it for the 90 minutes, as Looms is saying, straight from the go.
Are they able to do it for 90 minutes at the minute, though? I mean, let's be perfectly honest about this. And I know that we don't tend to make excuses, but, you know, they've been without Willy Bolly for the last couple of weeks. He's been back on the bench tonight. I'll ask you in a minute about whether any of you would throw him in on Saturday for the Villa game. Obviously, without Raul Jimenez as the main striker for a long part of the season, without Daniel Podence as well. Johnny is making his way back. I thought he maybe found it tough tonight, as many would, because I guess he's in that difficult stage now where he's got through a couple of games, maybe on adrenaline, and now it starts to tell coming through. So, you know, it is this element where do they have it within them in such a small group to play at that intensity for 90 minutes? Is that a fair question to ask, boys?
It's definitely been a problem that the injuries have took its toll on this season for us. We've lost our main striker, we've lost our fullback, we've had niggling injuries where we've lost 2 or 3 players. But it does take its toll. We've only got a small squad. A small squad, so look, okay, we've got some young lads to come in, which is great. But an experienced team with an experienced squad, we've only got a small squad. And it probably has taken its toll a little bit. I think also as well, the expectations that what we've done in the last 2 years is a thing with it as well. We finished 7th for the first 2 years that we've been in the Premier League. And I think that where we were, people are going, well, we're going to push on again. And because of the injuries, because of we were looking to evolve and to change things, we've just took a step back a little bit. Look, we can still push up this league. We can still play. We've played against probably the best team in the world at the minute, so like as a club side. But again, for that long periods of time, for 80 minutes, we got ourselves back into the game, and it was 1 each. But it just shows you that if we lift that intensity, you lift that tempo when you're playing, you can cause anybody a problem with the talent that we've got.
I think it's always going to be a risk, you know, when you've got a small squad that you lose a couple of those players, and it does make a massive difference. And it's important players as well. You know, that's not even talking about the players that have left. You know, that were massive. But you're looking at Jimenez. You know, the goal getter, Johnny, who brings that balance, that experience. You know, like you say, Willy Bolly's been in and out. Saiss even. You know, it's Conor Coady with COVID. You know, there's been so many issues that it's understandable, but it's not an excuse, Mikey. But there's a lot of young players that have the potential, and some of them have stepped up and taken that opportunity. But I'm expecting more.
So, Willy Bolly on the bench tonight. A couple more days training. Do you put him back in for Aston Villa? Sam,
I think so. I think you're getting to the point, and all the points are right, and it is an excuse. But the other thing to add in is the amount of games that we're playing. You know, with the small squad, with injuries. So I put him in. Willy Bolly playing makes the team stronger. So therefore, then you play him a bit like they did with Johnny. They were playing Johnny straight out, saying, "Right, Johnny, whatever the scoreline, you're coming off after 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and we'll work you back into team." It's a bit easier as a centre back because you've not got the running of a wing back. I know the fitness they do. He won't be far off anyway, being ready for 90 minutes. But obviously, they look. Ultimately, yeah, you get him back in because it makes your team stronger.
I'm just watching as well. We've got the Wolves players here, the ones who were the subs and that, are doing a workout. Bolly was doing one on his own with one of the coaches. So are they conditioning him towards that the weekend, maybe? Because he's doing totally different to what the rest of the subs are doing at the minute. He did some long distance run. He did some lengths on the pitch, and he did a little bit more different running as well. But he's gone in now. But that might be a sign that they might be looking to play him at the weekend as well.
Definitely, it'll be gearing him back up, won't it? It'll be he's been out injured for obviously a while. They'll be gearing him back up. So he's doing a fitness session. The other lads are probably just doing something to keep ticking over, definitely.
Final 30 seconds, Chris Iwelumo, in the striker situation. Fabio Silva came on tonight, put himself about a bit mainly. You've got Willian Jose as well. I presume you would pick at least one of them at Villa. It just depends which way you would go.
Well, it is. You know, I think Fabio's been coming off the bench and making an impact. Again, it was a difficult game to come on, but he did it. He gave, when he came on, he made a difference. I would probably, for the fact that he's come off the bench instead of Willie and Josie, it probably means he gets the nod for Villa. So again, whoever it is, I want them to do well and obviously got on open the scoring. But I just feel that we are a better team, better looking team when we have an outlet, because both of those players can link up and bring others into play as well. But at the minute, I think probably Fabio Silva deserves that chance to get the start.
It's going to be really interesting to see what they do. Before then, we have the under-23s in action against top of the table Leeds on Friday lunchtime. You can watch that absolutely free on Wolves TV. And then Chris Iwelumo won't be with us because he's off working for other people at the weekend. Not big time on telly. But the rest of us will be back on Saturday for the derby game against Aston Villa. Chris Iwelumo, Sam Ricketts, Andy Thompson, thank you very much indeed. And thank you to all of you for watching us this evening. It wasn't quite to be, despite that remarkable moment of a Conor Coady goal. It was a long time coming. Hopefully, we won't have to wait as long for the next one. See you in a couple of days.